It's the start of a three-game road stretch, and it begins here at Gov Fuller Field in Falmouth, Massachusetts, after the Harwich Mariners dropped their first game in 6 games, ending a 5-game win streak. They're on the road for 3 straight games, and after that 5-game win streak, the Mariners are turning the page, trying to get back into the win column here tonight. Hello, everyone, and welcome into tonight's game broadcast here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Wyatt Kopelman here alongside my broadcast partner, Devin Dobek. And Devin, let's look back at that 5-game win streak. Mariners certainly were able to produce a lot of runs. They averaged nearly 7.5 runs per game, but it came to a screeching halt last night with only 2 against the Yarmouth Red Sox.
Yeah, it's difficult, especially with the loss of Seaver King and Caitlin Culpepper, 2 instrumental pieces of the offense that have been fantastic up until this point. So without them, it's just been tough trying to find people to fill their shoes. They haven't quite found that yet. In the pitching, they did everything they can to keep the team in the game. I mean, 5 runs is more than reasonable if you're trying to win a ball game. So, yeah, just unfortunately, one of those games, they were bound to drop 1. And, of course, after winning 5 in a row, that happens. So it happened then, and we'll see what happens here tonight against a Falmouth team who Harwich should be able to bounce back against.
The Mariners falling to 8-4 on the season, ending their 4-game home stretch with just 6 hits and 2 runs across. Meanwhile, Shea Sprague, the Elon starter, getting tagged with the loss, as the Mariners were unable to rally late despite getting 2 runs in the 6th inning. We'll bring you the starting lineups for the visiting Mariners here at Gov Fuller Fields. Leading off, the second baseman, number 36 of UMass Lowell, Jacob Humphrey. Batting second, the Duke product, the right fielder, number 24, Devin Obie. Batting third, the first baseman of Old Dominion, number 32, Hunter Fitzgerald. Batting cleanup, the left fielder, number 27, Kennedy Jones of South Carolina. Batting fifth, the Miami Hurricanes outfielder, designated hitter, number 35, Lorenzo Carrier. Batting sixth, the third baseman, the number 7, Kenny Lavari out of Old Dominion. Batting seventh, the center fielder of Princeton, number 10, Matt Scannell. Batting eighth, the catcher of Duke, number 14, Andrew Yu. And rounding out the starting 9 for 20th-year head coach Steve Englert, the shortstop of Texas A&M, number 30, Ali Camadillo. The Mariners tonight will be going up against a redshirt sophomore, the right-hander Isaac Tiger of Kansas. With Butler College this season, Devin, 15 starts in all 15 appearances. He went 10-5 with a 3.93 ERA. Check that.
Yeah, we'll see what we get out of him, but the thing I'm definitely excited to watch, 121 strikeouts, just 29 walks. He's someone who lives and dies by fanning hitters, and we'll see if he can bring it against a Mariner lineup who's very prone to striking out.
Just about set for first pitch here at Arnie Allen Diamonds. The Mariners trailing the season series 0-1 after falling 2-1 in their second home contest on the season back at White House Fields. The Mariners wearing the road navy uniforms per usual, with red block lettering and white outlining in Harwich across the chest, red numbers across the lower left half, gray pants with a navy trim, red helmets, and white cleats as well, the navy black socks with 2 white stripes and a red outlining as well. Isaac Tiger just about set to face off here against Jacob Humphrey. Floodlights just started to come on here at Gov Fuller Field. The Mariners looking to get back in the win column tonight against a Falmouth team at 3-8-2 on the season, 3.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod West Division standings. As now Jacob Humphrey, the right-hander, digs in from the right side, set to face Tiger. 2 appearances, 2 starts this season, 7 2/3 innings. He winds and fires from the windup, and he deals it low for ball number 1. First pitch dialing in at 7:04 p.m. Gorgeous evening for baseball here to close out the weekend. 73 degrees, partly sunny skies, winds blowing south-southwest at 6 miles per hour. Quickly 2-0 here to Humphrey, the junior of Standish, Maine, graduate of Bonnie Eagle High School. Rising junior at UMass Lowell, brings in 4 combined hits in the past 5 games as he shoots this one out towards left field, ranging over Bazana, and he's going to let it drop into fair territory. It's down in left field for a base hit as Jacob Humphrey is already into scoring position for the Mariners' first hit of the night. We'll bring you the defensive alignment for Falmouth at 3-8-2 on the season. Turley, Redfield, and Tracy from left to right in the outfields. On the infield corners, Bazana at third. On first, Snell. Middle infield, DeBarge at shortstop. Martin of Virginia Tech is at second. The battery mate to Isaac Tiger of Kansas is Janik here. A runner in scoring position for the Mariners on a base hit to left field. And it's Humphrey that forces Tiger to work out of the stretch early here as he faces Devin Obie here in the 2-hole. Goes high for ball 1, just underway here from Gov Fuller. No score, the Mariners with 1 hit thus far against the right-handed starter in Tiger.
Tough night for Obi last night. Went 0 for 4 after having a 2-hit game the game before. Still trying to catch his footing here, but comes in hitting .235 with a .381 on-base percentage.
1-0 fastball, it misses high. It's 2-0 here, similarly to Humphrey. Devin Obi certainly finding his way with the hitting, despite a quiet start against Katuitt earlier this week. Part of the Mariners' 5-game win streak. Has stepped up for the absence of Seaver King as he watches one high and inside to back him off the plate. It's 3-0 here.
93 on that last fastball.
0 for 4 last night in the 5-2 home loss against Yarmouth Dennis. A pair of strikeouts after a 2 for 3 night in that 2-1 home win against Orleans. The Mariners were unable to rally back again last night. 3-ball pitch. Fastball clips the upper inside corner. It's 3-1. On second, Humphrey, the UMass Lowell product, getting a much-needed base hit after an 0 for 4 night last night. Devin Obi trying to bring him home here as the Mariners and the Commodores are scoreless thus far with none away here in the top of the first. Humphrey dancing off second. Tiger brings it home. And it's cut on a miss. It's going to be 3-2 now as the count runs full for the first time today.
Nice job by Tiger to work the count full after being down 3-0. Obi prone to the strikeout. We'll see how he protects.
Mariners only getting 2 hits in the early frames last night. Payoff pitch goes inside below the belt. And it's a walk here, still none on, and there are traffic on the base pass already with Humphrey on second and Obi on first. This is just a start that Steve Ankler is looking for his team after that 5-game streak ended.
Yeah, and they only left 4 runners on base last night, but that was because they didn't really have too many runners on base. So, unfortunately, yes, you complain about the times they stranded 15 runners, but they scored 9 runs and were able to win the ball game. That was at Katuitt. So, got to find ways to get guys on base and push them around. Now a golden opportunity to do it after having very limited chances last night.
That brings up Hunter Fitzgerald here in the 3-hole with 2 on as he swings and misses through a fastball for strike number 1. Leading batter here in the series is Fitzgerald, the Margate, Florida native, hitting 2 for 4. Has yet to collect an RBI against the Commodores, albeit the Mariners only had 1 run in that 2-1 home loss back on June 12th at White House Field. Humphrey on second, Obi on first, still no score, no outs here from Gulf Fuller Field in the top of the first. Isaac Tiger yet to record that much-needed out thus far as he faces a high-leverage situation. 0-1, grounded back up the middle, off the mound and into center field. Speeding past third will be Humphrey. He'll get the wave around sign as he will score standing up. And stopping at second will be Obi. A huge RBI base hit for Hunter Fitzgerald as the Old Dominion product makes it 1-0 Harwich here in the top of the first.
Really hot start for the Mariners. Coming out, first 3 guys getting on base. This is something we rarely saw against the YD Red Sox the other night. Mariners were just going down in order, maybe a walk here or there, but really encouraging to see them get the offense going early here. And, of course, we talked about this Falmouth team come in, worst team in the Cape Cod Baseball League at 3-8-2. A good chance to get your footing back, get in the win column, and, yeah, Harwich not skipping a beat, jumping on them early.
Mariners last night got a relatively promising start out of Shea Sprague. The first pitch of Kennedy Jones is swung on a miss, gets away from the catcher, Janik. That will send Obi into third and Fitzgerald into second. Now 2 in scoring position, still none away. The Mariners certainly got a solid start out of Shea Sprague last night, went nearly 5. And the pitching staff accounted for a lot of strikeouts as well, but the Mariners know they have to put pressure on early.
Yeah, did punch out 10 Red Sox, but, of course, that a much stronger lineup, and they were able to hurt Harwich when it meant the most.
Behind in the count, Jones here against Isaac Tiger, the right-hander of Kansas. 0-1, lofted back. It's 0-2.
Jones also another Mariner who had a quiet night and 0 for last night, which is very uncharacteristic of him.
So it's 3 combined hits over the past 3 games as he looks to bring at least 1 home here. 2-strike pitch. Tapped back behind home plate. We'll do it again.
Actually did have a really nice single in the 6th. That escaped me. Was able to drive in a couple runs off that.
On third, Obi. On second, Fitzgerald. Harwich ahead 1-0 over Falmouth here in the top of the first at Gulf Fuller Field. Tiger tries 0-2 again. Served out towards right field. Going back. Tracy, he's not going to be able to make the catch. That'll bring home 1, and Obi. Fitzgerald getting the wave around sign as he's past third, and he's in the home scoring and standing up. A 3-0 lead for Harwich on an RBI base hit from Kennedy Jones, the South Carolina outfielder, giving Harwich a much-needed padded lead to bring up Lorenzo Carrier here early.
Really nice swing with 2 strikes on him by Kennedy Jones just to get a bat on the baseball and then let the bat do the rest. It kept carrying way past Tracy. Looked like he was going to be able to make a play on it. Had a late jump and just falls a few feet past his glove. Big double for Kennedy Jones. That ties him for the league lead with Harry of Katuitt. They both have 5.
Jay Harry, the Penn State product, part of a Nittany Lions team that finished near to last in the Big Ten standings this year as Lorenzo Carrier steps up and watches it high just above the letters for ball number 1. None away here in the top of the first from Gov Fuller. The Mariners paying their first visit to the Commodores this season after losing 2-1 in their second home contest of the season. They lead at 3-0, still with none away here in the top of the first, and Isaac Tiger falling to choppy waters early on. 1-0, lofted back. It's going to be 1-1.
And when you think about Harwich already scoring 3 runs with nobody away here in the first, this is more offensive production than they had all last night. So really good telltale signs of them being resilient here early on in the ball game.
Jones standing off of second. Carrier with a single game high in RBIs this season with 5 at Orleans in his debut last Sunday. Here's the 1-1. Lobbed out towards right field. Tracy moving under it, fights off the sun, and he drops the ball in right field. That will send Jones into third, and he'll get the hold sign there. So now runners on the corners, still none away. The ball going in the direction of Tracy twice, and had a slicing hook on it each time around.
Yeah, that sun just really such a battle. It's setting right behind us. We're sitting to the back left of the plate if you're looking out at the field. And, yeah, serious problem out there in right field to battle that sun. But Tracy, I'm sure he's dealt with it before as someone who plays Division I college baseball. So no excuse for a drop ball, but definitely not something I could do, I'll tell you that.
Well, Devin, this is a Commodores team that is 1-3-1 at home this season, and has certainly fared better on the road. Gave Harwich a strong run for its money and ultimately prevailed at White House Field as a 12th-year pitching coach, Mike Landry, now comes out to have a word with the Kansas starter in Isaac Tiger.
Still nobody away here in Harwich, already bringing their 6th batter to the plate. Really good productive inning and still counting. Can make this thing really wide open.
Carrier reaching on an E9 from Tracy out in right field. Gavin Turley's in left, have Tracy in right. The Mariners threatening once again, still with none away, as Devin mentioned, with runners on the corners here. Kennedy Jones is on third, Carrier's on first, as Kenny Lavari, the Old Dominion third baseman, now steps in here. Lavari has been most renowned around the ball club for the walks as of late, had a stretch of 2 games as a pickoff attempt back over at first is unsuccessful on Carrier. Had 7 walks over the stretch of 2 games across that 4-game win streak for the Mariners. 3-0 lead for Harwich here in the top of the first, none away. Taken high and outside for ball number 1 here to Lavari. Lavari last night against the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, breaking a 2-game hitting drought, went 1 for 3, and has a huge opportunity here to bring home Kennedy Jones from third. Tiger set at the belt. The pitch. Outside, it's 2-0.
And the thing with Lavari, though, is yes, he may not have an overwhelming amount of hits, but he does have 10 walks on the season. That leads the Mariners, and it's led to him having the highest on-base percentage of any Harwich Mariner at .457.
It's been valuable without Seaver King as well. Here's the 2-0 from Tiger. A called strike on the outer half. It's 2-1. Lavari bringing in 6 hits through his first 9 games. So he's certainly found ways to get on base, similar to Hunter Fitzgerald. None away. Here's the 2-0. Swing and a miss, 2-2, rather. 3-0 lead for the Mariners here in the top of the first. None away against the right-hander and Isaac Tiger of Kansas. Jones on third after reaching there on an E9 from Lorenzo Carrier as he stands on first. The 2-2 from Tiger. Skied out towards left field. Turley and Redfield conjoining in left. Turley makes the catch. Tagging from third will be Jones as he races home and he scores. The throw goes way wide on a sacrifice fly from Kenny Lavari. There's finally one away for Tiger, but it comes to the cost of 4-0 Harwich lead in the first.
And something that probably will be overlooked here, some not great base running by Lorenzo Carrier here in this first inning. On the pop fly to right was jogging it out. Could have been on second had he been hustling it out, assuming there was going to be an error. And then on this throw to the plate, he stayed stagnant on first base. So you got to make your way down to second if there's a throw all the way home and it's not being cut off. Carrier a wasted 90 feet that time.
Jones home to score on the sacrifice fly as Matt Scannell watches one on the inner half for strike number one. One down in the top of the first for Isaac Tiger of Kansas. 4 runs already for Harwich. 3 hits thus far. Big 2-run double from Kennedy Jones. 0-1. Goes low. Now it's 1-1 here to Matt Scannell, the Princeton product. Has a home run on the season. Scannell, the rising senior at Princeton, one of his last 10 with a walk and a strikeout. He works with one on here. 1-1 from Tiger. Slider misses low and inside. It's 2-1.
This game also available on NESN if you're looking for a way to watch the game. Listen to our broadcast, watch the game on NESN. There you go.
Carrier on first, 1 away. 4-0 Harwich lead here in the top of the first from Gov Fuller. 2-1. Line back at inning. It's 2-2. The Mariners last night, Devin, only getting a pair of hits those first 3 innings. You could tell they had a sense to regroup as a unit on the road this season. The Mariners 3-2, 5-2 inside the confines of White House Fields. Tiger taking his time, the 2-2. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Back pick down to first. And it's not going to be in time. So Tiger picks up his first strikeout here in the first after allowing 4 to score. And there are finally 2 away in what's grown a more groaning outing for him thus far. Andrew Yu coming up here, hitting in the 8 hole. The Mariners still have the chance to bring up all 9 here in the top of the first. First on the way, slider swung on a miss for strike 1. Yu not getting in the start in a handful of games, the rising junior at Duke. He went 1 for 5 in his second game appeared in after making his debut against Katuitt. 0-1. Low, it's 1-1.
A lot of really entertaining ball games around the league here tonight. We'll get into that in just a little bit, but all but one game already into the final third of their respective ball games.
2 away in the top of the first. Harwich had 4-0. The pitch, line into right field, hooking towards the foul line. Tracy makes the catch for the final out of the inning. But the Mariners strike first, and they strike loud. They get 4 runs on 4 hits. Rather, 3 hits, no errors, rather 1 error, and leave 1 on. 4-0 lead for the Mariners going into the home half of the first here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 4-0 Harwich going into the home half of the first here as Falmouth finally comes to bat after a rocky first inning from the right-handed starter in Isaac Tiger. The lineup for the home-staying Commodores at 3-8-2 on the season, 1-3-1 here at Gov Fuller Field. Leading off, the designated hitter, number 17, John Spikerman. Batting second, third baseman, number 7, Travis Bazzana. Batting third, the shortstop, number 6, Kyle DeBarge. Batting cleanup, the catcher, number 26, Walter Janik. Batting fifth, the center fielder, number 32, Joseph Redfield. Batting sixth, the left fielder, number 1, Gavin Turley. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 29, Cade Snell, as Colin Rothamel of Kansas State winds and fires the first pitch. It's skied in the infield, back up towards the mound. Rothamel letting it trail to the left side. Lavari steps under it. He can't scoop the catch. An error on Kenny Lavari, as he's been shaky at times this season on the hot corner, and the leadoff man reaches on an error. Batting seventh, the first baseman, number 29, Cade Snell. Batting eighth, the second baseman, number 3, Christian Martin. Rounding out the starting nine, the right fielder, number 11, Tab Tracy, against the right-hander in Colin Rothamel, as John Spikerman reaches on a leadoff error, as that is how the Falmouth Commodores will start with their lineup here tonight. Now Rothamel out of the stretch. The Mariners had 4-0 after the top half of the first here at Gov Fuller Field. The ball goes low to Travis Bazzana for ball number 1. Rothamel pitched in his 7th inning as the pitch goes high, make it 1-1, rather 2-0. 7th inning of a 12-2 win at Orleans in his season debut. The Mariners taking that one convincingly, their second trip over to Eldridge Park. Rothamel only pitching that inning, 2 strikeouts, a walk. As he's behind the count, 2-0 here to Travis Bazzana. He lofts it foul back behind home plate. It's going to be 2-1 here.
Bazzana, a native of Sydney, Australia. Spent this past season with the Oregon State Beavers. 374 batting average, 20 doubles and 11 homers. Got some serious power.
None away, runner on first. Slider swung on and missed for strike number 2 here to Bazzana. Falmouth coming in 1-4 in its last 5 games. And as we mentioned, 1-3-1 at Gov Fuller Field this season. Orleans facing Yarmouth Dennis on the road here tonight after the Red Sox took first place back last night, 2-2. Outside, you dropping the ball behind home plate. It'll be full here to Bazzana. Spikerman, the leadoff hitter, reaching on an E5 to start here in the bottom half of the first. A 4-0 Harwich lead. Their second meeting against the Commodores this season. The 3-2 from Rothamel. Line back behind home plate will stay at 3-2. When trailing after 6 innings, Devin, the Commodores could not be more similar to the Mariners. They are 0-4. When they're tied after 6, they're 1-2-2. And right now, it looks all Harwich right now after a strong first inning with 4 runs on 3 hits. Payoff pitch again. Runner takes off. It goes high for ball 4. And still none away here as the Mariners now working with runners on first and second for Rothamel to face against here as Kyle DeBarge comes up in the 3-hole.
Looks like the offenses are going to be the story of this ball game. I mean, 2 on, nobody out. Sounds a little similar to what the Mariners just had in the top half of the inning. We'll see if Falmouth can respond, but for a good number for Harwich to be at here in the first, and we'll see how Rothamel can respond. He's been resilient. We've seen him pitch well, and now getting some turbulence. Let's see what he can bring.
Yeah, it's kind of the next step for him after Kansas State this year as he deals a first pitch strike down the middle to Kyle DeBarge. Had 22 strikeouts in 8 appearances at Kansas State. That accumulated for 28 1/3 innings. A 4-0 lead for the Mariners. Still none away. Runners on first and second against the right-hander in Rothamel. He looks back and deals the 0-1 to DeBarge. It goes high. 1-1 here. DeBarge this season with Louisiana of the Sun Belt Conference hitting .371, 15 doubles, 7 home runs. Huge chance for him to drive one here. 1-1, runners take off. It's a strike to throw down to third, and it's not in time. A double steal as Spikerman gets in safe, and Bazzana moves up to second. Still none away here. More pressure against Rothamel, the right-hander.
Aggressive base running from Jeff Trundy and the Commodores, but this makes it a lot more manageable to score runs if you're Falmouth, especially considering now there's no force play at anywhere but first. So now the double play is taken out of question, and we'll see what the heart of the order for Falmouth can do.
Rothamel still looking for his first strikeout on the night. Gave up a walk to Bazzana. And right now is ahead in the count 1-2 against Kyle DeBarge. Mariners striking for 4 in the top half of the first here. The 1-2. Swinging a foul tip, and they're going to tag him on the out as Andrew Yu dropped it from behind home plate, as there's now one away as the fourth comes to the plate, the cleanup hitter in Walter Janik.
Janik, this past season with Sam Houston State, hit .322, 13 home runs, 70 runs batted in. Did punch out 45 times.
Had 13 home runs, 52 runs scored, and 70 RBIs. The first pitch, line down the right field line and foul. Fortunate for the netting in front of that Falmouth dugout, Devin. Certainly would have taken some hair off at the very least.
Yeah.
The catcher certainly having a word with it as Yannick steps in here as the 4-hole. He's the starting catcher today. One away, 0-1. Line back, it's going to be 0-2. Spikerman on third, Bazana on second after a double steal. Spikerman reaching on an E5, Bazana with a walk against Colin Rothermel as he looks to pick up his second strikeout.
Yannick also a Buster Posey Award watch list member in 2022.
Two-strike pitch, slider swung on and missed. Back-to-back strikeouts from the Kansas State product in Rothermel as the Kansas State product has two straight retired here in the first.
And that's the best, those non-contact outs with runners in scoring position. Great job by Rothermel to pitch through the adversity, keeping his composure to retire hitters by way of the K. Not an easy task to do, especially on the road.
Now it's over to Joe Redfields. The left-hander lofts it back behind a home plate foul. Outfielder of Sam Houston State, transferred from Temple College this season with the Commodores, hitting 4 for 16, 3 RBIs. He looks to make it 4 or 5 here as he works with runners on second and third, 2 away. The Commodores trailing 4-0 here in the bottom of the first. The 0-1 from Rothermel. Tacks the inside half. It's 0-2 as a 5-hole hitter in Redfield will have to protect. Gavin Turley on deck, the freshman of Oregon State. He's still looking for his first hit here. Rothermel with the 0-2.
Ooh.
Breaking ball misses the inside corner, just high of the letters, and it's 1-2. Just a borderline call that time. First base is open here.
And honestly, probably a good thing it wasn't a strike in hindsight, because if it had made the strike zone, it's a hanging breaking ball that the 5-hitter can do something with.
The 1-2. Breaking ball on the upper half as it gets called looking. Rothermel strikes out the side as the Kansas State product leaves the mound calm, cool, and collected in his first inning of work in his first start on the season. None across here in the first, despite a leadoff error and a walk as well, as Rothermel works with ease in the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Falmouth. 4-0 lead for the Mariners going into the second here from Gov Fuller Field. It's Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Colin Rothermel, the right-handed starter out of Kansas State, strikes out the side with 1 looking and 2 swinging as he leaves 2 stranded for the Commodores, trailing Harwich 4-0 here in the top of the second from Gov Fuller Fields. Due up for the Mariners, the 9-1 and 2-hole hitters in Ale Camarillo, Jacob Humphrey, and Devin Obie. The Mariners in that first inning, if you're joining us late, bringing up 8 to the plate, scoring 4 runs on 3 hits and an error. The Mariners committing an error as well to start off the bottom of the first on Kenny Lavari. But nonetheless, they did not get any damage from the Falmouth lineup. Falmouth wearing its home white uniforms with red block lettering. The first pitch to Camarillo, taken for a strike down the middle on a changeup. No hits for Falmouth in the bottom of the first. Isaac Tiger with the 0-1. A half swing. The appeal down to first is a yes. And it's going to be 0-2 here as he has to protect in his first time up. For Camarillo, he has certainly cooled off after a relatively hot start to the season. Meanwhile, Colin Rothermel looking strong in his debut as a starter. The 0-2 from Tiger. Check swing, slider misses low. It's 1-2. A good hold that time from Camarillo as he looks to continue to evolve with that plate discipline going past the quarter mark of the season here. None away. Harwich had 4-0. No one on for the leadoff hitter in Camarillo. 1-2 high. It's 2-2.
And yes, he might be declining in some aspects, but his defense has been consistent. You know what to expect there, and his timeliness has been fantastic. Has the only walk-off hit for the Mariners this season.
The 2-2 from Tiger. Lined over towards the left side. DeBarge moving to his left. Gets up at the outfield grass. Fires to first, and it's well not in time. A single to shortstop for Ali Camarillo despite an excellent effort from DeBarge over at short, and the Mariners have their leadoff runner here in the second.
There you go. Sometimes it's all it takes is a little placement. You probably heard what you were saying, Wyatt, and then it said, okay, I got to put this one in play. There you go.
Crowd filing in here at Gov Fuller Field. The floodlights are on here as the sun sets gradually. The infield shadows across here as the first pitch to Jacob Humphrey is a called strike in the upper half. One of the longest nights of the summer. It'll be one of the longest nights of the season as well, leading into the last week of June here. Throw back over to first. Not in time on a diving Camarillo. 0-1 here to Jacob Humphrey. He works with Camarillo on first after a leadoff infield single. None away. Harwich ahead 4-0. Isaac Tiger, the right-hander of Kansas, working methodically on the mound here from the middle of the rubber. The 0-1. Misses low. It's 1-1. Tiger ran into trouble back in the first against the Mariners lineup, in which the first four in its lineup reached base. 4 runs on 3 hits. Sacrifice fly as well from Kenny Lavari, getting the Mariners that extra run. Swing and a miss. The throw back to first on a back pick. Not in time. 1-2 here to Jacob Humphrey. Up for the second time. He doubled to left field back in the first. Tiger with the 1-2. Called looking on the outer half as he blew a fastball by Humphrey as there's one away after a leadoff hit from Harwich.
And Humphrey with a team-leading 16 strikeouts coming into today. There's another one. Just unfortunately being a little too selective there, and that time it hurt him.
Humphrey falls to 1 for 2 here today with one away in the top of the second. The Mariners ahead 4-0. Ali Camarillo with a leadoff single to short. Devin Obie set up here after reaching on a walk back in the first. First pitch, a swing and a miss. And it's 0-1 to the Duke outfielder. Obie, the sophomore of Nashville, Tennessee, at 6'2", 215. Throw back over to first, not in time. Rising junior at Duke, hit .232 for the Blue Devils of the Atlantic Coast Conference this season. 10 RBIs to go with it. 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts last night as he looks to move Camarillo into scoring position. The 0-1. Fastball goes inside below the belt. 1-1.
Having a little discussion with Mickey Garcia. Not sure what that's about.
2 for 3 in that 2-1 win against Orleans to make it 5 straight for the Mariners before dropping last night. One away, the 1-1 from Tiger. A healthy hack and a miss on a fastball. 1-2. Camarillo on first with the Mariners ahead 4-0 here in the top of the second. Colin Rothermel, the Kansas State product, striking out the side to close out the first. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Obie a slight tad behind that one as there are 2 away here with a pair of strikeouts here for the right-handed starter of Kansas.
Yeah, really nice pitch that time. Just blew it right by him, and sometimes it's all about good versus good, and that time winning the battle was Tiger.
Third strikeout here for the right-hander as he now faces Hunter Fitzgerald for a second time. Single to center field back in the first. A first pitch. Tapped over towards the right side softly. Off the mound, Tiger. He gets it, fires down to first, and it's not going to be in time. Over to third is going to be Camarillo as the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia, now deems it an out made at first.
Oh, my goodness.
So rule it a 1-3 putout.
That's terrible.
Despite it falling off the glove of Snell at first.
He was running in the base path. I'm not sure how the runner doesn't have a right to the base path. I don't agree with that call. And neither does Coach Engler. He wants a word.
So no runs on one hit, no errors, and one left on in Commodore as the Mariners still lead the Commodores 4-0 going into the bottom of the second here at Gov Fuller Field. The Mariners taking their first trip, and they're in command thus far to start a 3-game road stretch. 4-0 lead for Harwich here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Still a 4-0 lead for Harwich going into the bottom half of the second here after the Mariners got a leadoff hit from Ali Camadillo, but were unable to move him into scoring position. Colin Rothermel, the starter of Kansas State, back on the mound. He wears 18 in red with the navy top as he deals the first pitch to Gavin Turley for strike number 1. Turley, Snell, and Martin leading off here for Falmouth. 0-1 on the way from Rothermel. Slider swung on and hit out towards left field. Giving chase is going to be Scannell in center. He camps under and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. 1 out on 2 pitches. Time to introduce the defensive alignment here for visiting Harwich at 8-4 on the season. From left to right in the outfield, Jones, Scannell, and Obi. On the infield corners, Lavari at third, Fitzgerald on first. Camarillo at short, Humphrey on second. And the catcher tonight for Colin Rothermel is a Duke product in Andrew Yu. Swing and a miss on the first pitch here to Cade Snell, the first baseman, stepping up for the first time here today. No hits in the bottom of the first for Falmouth. Reached on an error, however. 0-1. Misses low. Now 1-1 with 1 away. No one on the base pass here for Falmouth, looking for its first run on the game. And its first hit for that matter as well. 1-1. Slider swung on and missed. It's 1-2. Rothermel working quicker than the Kansas product and Isaac Tiger. 2 right-handers on the mound here tonight. The 1-2. This is outside. It's 2-2. Gavin Turley, the Oregon State product, looking for his first hit here with Falmouth. Swing and a miss, a drop third strike. Yu waves it off, throws down to first, and it's a liner in time. 2 away here, and the 4th strikeout for Colin Rothermel as he's retired 5 straight in his latest start.
Yeah, he looks really locked in out on the mound. You couldn't even tell it's his first start. He looks so composed, pitching with some serious poise, finding ways to retire hitters, both by them putting in play, pop flies, ground balls, strikeouts, all working for him right now.
Christian Martin, the Virginia Tech products, lofts it foul down the left side for strike 1. Yeah, he's really looked dialed in. Hasn't really gotten much ground ball contact. He's had a fly out to start the second here. 0-1 to Martin, taken outside. 1-1 here. Two away, nobody on here for Falmouth. The 1-1 from Rothermel. Inside on a slider, it's 1-2 as Martin will have to protect. 8 for 32 with Falmouth this season. He was ranked the 5th highest shortstop in Virginia. 1-2, fastball high, it's 2-2. 4-0 lead for Harwich. Here was 2 away and a 2-2 count here to Christian Martin. Rothermel with a slanted stance out of the middle of the slab, the 2-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Rothermel walking calmly off the mound again as this time he retires the side in order. A pair of strikeouts, both swinging and a flyout to start the second as it's a 4-0 Harwich lead. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on for the Commodores despite straining 2 on and in scoring position in the first. Mariners ahead and still in control going into the top of the third. You're listening to Harwich Mariners Baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Harwich in the driver's seat thus far with a 4-0 lead going into the third inning here at Fuller Field. Not a cloud in the sky as the sun gradually sets below the horizon here. Kennedy Jones, Lorenzo Carrier, and Kenny Lavari, the middle of the order here for 20th year head coach Steve Englert due up. Harwich lineup has 4 combined hits to start, 4 runs all coming back in the first. The Mariners leaving 2 on thus far, as have the Commodores. Meanwhile, Falmouth not getting a base runner in the second, as Colin Rothermel sent them down in order. Jones stepping up for the second time today as he shoots this one out towards center field. It's a high pop-up. This time it's going to be Redfield making the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out here for Isaac Tiger. The Kansas product start looking to cool down here.
Yeah, now both offenses sort of subsiding just a little bit. Pitchers starting to settle in, find their rhythm, find their groove, and right now that's just 4 straight retired.
Lorenzo Carrier steps in. Watch the slider on the outer half for strike number 1. Carrier reaching on an error against the right fielder in Tracy back in the first. Pitch. Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Carrier not coming across the score in the 4-run first inning as the Mariners hold a 4-0 lead with 1 away here in the top of the third. Tiger with the 0-2, a swing and a miss. 4 strikeout here for the Kansas right-hander as there are 2 away here in the third and as many batters.
Just a little good morning, good afternoon, good night that time to the Mariner power hitter, and just blew 3 pitches right by him, wasting no time. As I mentioned, really settling in.
If you're just joining us, 9 combined strikeouts already for the 2 right-handers on the mound. Isaac Tiger of Kansas, Colin Rothermel of Kansas State. The first pitch to Lavari, chopped foul to the right side. Lavari with a sac fly to left back in the first to score Kennedy Jones as the Mariners look for a base runner here in the third with now 5 straight retired by Tiger as he's begun to settle in. 0-1, lined over towards the right side, a rolling ball into right field as it gets past the first baseman in Snell. And there's a 2-out base runner here for Harwich. Not going down 1-2-3. Instead, it's a single to right for Kenny Lavari as he picks up his first base knock on the night.
Yeah, he's starting to find his rhythm back on offense, putting the ball in play. Had the sac fly back in the first. This time gets a single right between that 3-4 hole on the right side. Nice piece of hitting. Keeps the inning alive for the Mariners' leading RBI man.
Now over to Matt Scannell with 2 away, and the Mariners ahead 4-0. First pitch he sees, a fastball high and away for ball 1. A flyout and a strikeout swinging to start off here in the top of the third for the right-hander and Isaac Tiger. 2-out single to right, ending a streak of 5 straight retired. The southpaw and Scannell stands in here, ahead in the count. Now 2-0 here to the Princeton Tiger. Struck out swinging back in the first, as the Mariners still brought 8 to the plate. Meanwhile, for Falmouth, not making it through the order once around through the first 2 innings already. 4 runs on 5 hits for Harwich. No runs, no hits, and an error committed for Falmouth. The 2-0. A called strike on the outer half, and it's 2-1. Scannell could certainly use an RBI hit here, Devin. Certainly a lot of time left in this one. But you talk about the continuity that Harwich needs out of its veteran hitter, and the time is now. The 2-1. Skied foul. It's 2-2 behind home plate. Harwich wearing its road navy uniforms. Falmouth in its home white uniforms. Black caps for the Commodores with a brick red F with a white outlining. Brick red socks as well. And white pants with a red trim. The 2-2. Runner takes off, and it's served back behind home plate. We'll do it again at 2-2. Lavari with a 2-out base hit to right. He's on first. Scannell trying to move him in to second here as the Mariners have no runs since the opening frame. It was 4 runs on 3 hits. The Mariners only getting 1 hit back in the second. Mariners falling 2-1 in their first meeting with the Commodores back at White House Field. The 2-2. Fastball high above the letters. It's 3-2. Inspirational start here for the Mariners after failing to rally late last night despite getting a pair of runs in the 6th. That would have made it 6 straight wins had they been able to come from behind. 2 away, 1 on. The 3-2. Runner takes off. It's lofted out towards right field in the direction of Tracy. He barely makes a step, and that is the final out of the inning. So the Mariners go scoreless once again here in the 3rd with no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 1 on. A 4-0 lead for Harwich going into the bottom of the 3rd. Here from Arnie Allen Diamond at Go Fuller Field. Colin Rothamel, the Kansas State product, heading back out onto the bump. We'll be right back. It's Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Back for more here at Go Fuller Field. The Mariners and the Commodores meeting for the 2nd time this season. Into the bottom of the 3rd, Colin Rothamel, the right-hander of Kansas State, stepping back up. He's only allowed 2 base runners thus far, and it came back in the 1st with the game's first 2 hitters for the Commodores lineup. He stranded those 2, striking out the side, and sent the order down in 1-2-3 fashion back in the 2nd as he's set to face the 9-hole hitter in Tab Tracy, John Spikerman, and Travis Bazana here. Tracy stepping up for the first time here. The first pitch on the way from Rothamel, a bunt shown and pulled back. It's high for ball number 1. Tracy, this season, Devin, a compelling season at Texas A&M, hitting .326. The 1-0, another bunt shown this time, and it goes low. It's going to be 2-0. Compelling season for Tracy down in College Station, a sophomore of Texas A&M, with 4 doubles, 11 runs scored, 2 RBIs. A righty-lefty battle here with Rothamel of Kansas State. The 2-0. Slider misses high. It's 3-0 here, a good take. And that certainly fits into what Tracy has begun to do here with Falmouth. Aside from the 9 hits thus far and 3 RBIs, he's taking it well. The 3-0. A called strike as it rolls to the backstop. It's going to be 3-1. 4-0 lead for Harwich here in the bottom of the 3rd. All 4 runs for the Mariners back in the 1st with 3 hits and a sacrifice fly. Commodores still looking for their first hit here. An error apiece thus far. The 3-1. Misses low, 5-pitch walk for Tracy as he reaches for the first time in his first trip today against Rothamel.
Yeah, and he was in a groove right before that happened. 6 straight retired. 5 by way of the K. We'll see if he can bounce back. He's been in this situation. The leadoff man was on in the first due to an error. And you got a nice 4-run cushion, so plenty of space to breathe. Not the most pressure in the scenario, but still going to have to go to the top of the order once again.
First pitch on the way to John Spikerman, fastball outside for ball 1. Yeah, you mentioned the pressure, Devin. It also fits in with Rothermel as well. He retired 6 straight. Already up to 5 strikeouts here as he now works out of the stretch for the first time since the first. The 1-0. Way inside, just above the shoe tops, and it's 2-0 here. None away here on the bottom, the third. 1 on with a leadoff walk from Tab Tracy, the 9-hole hitter. John Spikerman, the sophomore of Oklahoma, switch hitter as a matter of fact. He's in from the left side here. The 2-0. Bunt lobbed foul back behind home plate. Clears the press box, 2-1.
Some finals already around the league in just 2 hours and 19 minutes. The Whitecaps take down the Anglers 6-0. Bourne also defeated the Kettleers soundly 13-1 at Lowell Park in Katuitt. How about that game?
Yeah, Katuitt hanging on to first place for most of the season already. As the strike clips the upper half, it's going to go to 2-2 on Spikerman. Reached on an error on the third baseman in Lavari to start off the bottom of the first. He was stranded at third, in addition to the man behind him in Travis Bazana. 2 left in scoring position to close the first. The 2-2, runner takes off, a swing and a foul tip, as he'll just stay alive here.
In other news, Wareham on top of Hyannis, 2-1 in the bottom of the fourth out at McKeon Park. And the Red Sox and Firebirds in extra innings, top 10 there. 4-4 is the score from Red Wilson Field.
Spikerman with dirt on his jersey already here. None away, 1 on, the 2-2. Lined over towards the right side. Humphrey moving to his left, fires to first, and it's in time. That gets 1 here for Colin Rothermel as Tracy moves into scoring position on the 4-3 ground out, and there's 1 away. Travis Bazana coming up here. Falmouth starting to face a little bit of what Harwich faced late last night, Devin, just not moving the ball enough despite the fact that Harwich didn't even leave more than 5 on base last night. We'll see what Falmouth has to offer here. Still early in the early frames, as a matter of fact. 4 runs on 5 hits for Harwich. No runs on no hits for the Commodores. Now in second, Tracy, as Travis Bazana steps in, watches it low and inside for ball 1.
And back to that play by Humphrey, though, ranging all the way over to his left. His speed is his biggest weapon, undoubtedly. Able to cover a lot of ground. He was able to get over there and make that look really easy. A tough play. Ball hit in the hole.
1-0, a liner over towards the right side as it bounces foul from the bag. And it goes 1-1 here. Mariners for their first 10 games, certainly solid 8-2 to take first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. They lost that top placing last night with a loss to the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. The 1-1 from Rothermel, lofted foul down the left side, rather into left field. Kennedy Jones making the play for out number 2 here. A little bit of weird carry on at that time from our vantage point. And after a leadoff walk, there are 2 away here in the third.
And a really nice play that time by Jones to just find his way under it or record the out. Big out number 2 for Rothermel. Bouncing back after that leadoff man is on. Still in scoring position, but doing a really nice job of moving through hitters despite one getting on now and then.
8 of the last 9 retired as Rothermel misses low and away with a slider in the dirt.
DeBarge Sunbelt All-Conference the last 2 seasons at Louisiana.
7 for 27 with Falmouth entering tonight, the 1-0. Skied out towards center field, chasing back Scandal. At the warning track, he makes a running catch for the final out of the inning. It's a loud out, but it's not too far for Matt Scandal as the Princeton Tiger pulls it down as Rothermel retires 3 straight after a leadoff walk. 4-0 lead for Harwich going into the middle frames here at Gov Fuller Field. No runs on no hits, no errors, and 1 left aboard going into the fourth. 4-0 Mariners here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Yeah, who am I talking?
Last time out with Falmouth against Harwich, the score was 2-1 in Falmouth's favor. The Harwich Mariners had 6 hits, but only getting 1 run. Today, the script is flipped with already 5 hits and 4 runs batted in. Kennedy Jones with a 2 RBI double to get the scoring going for the Harwich Mariners. It is fantastic to see the bats getting going from leadoff man Jacob Humphrey, as well as Kennedy Jones, Kenny Lavari, and Ali Camarillo. Now back to the broadcasters with Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobek.
Great job, Shawnee.
Four 0 Harwich after a 4-run opening frame from the Mariners. The top half of the lineup taking care of the run production thus far. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobek here. Going into the middle frames, over to my broadcast partner in Devin for the middle third of the play-by-play.
Thank you, Wyatt. Andrew Yu, Ali Camarillo, and Jacob Humphrey set to get things going here in the fourth. It's a 4-0 lead for the Mariners. They're out hitting the Commodores 5-0 currently. First pitch to you is going to be chopped up the middle. Tough play for Martin, charging in. It gets through, and DeBarge has no play. A nice hit for Andrew Yu to start things here in the fourth. That is the second time the Mariners have had the leadoff man on, or excuse me, the third time they've had the leadoff man on.
Yu has been looking for hits this season. His teammate Devin Obi has one, but how about for you? He had an RBI back a couple nights ago at White House Field during that 4-game win streak. It's starting to set a tone here, and you have to have that if you're DeBarge, just to back up your starter who's faced some choppy waters.
Camarillo's turn. He singled back in the second to lead off that inning. He watches ball one go by at 87 miles per hour, just below, and it's 1-0. Jacob Humphrey on deck. Mariners already with a man on here in the fourth as Tiger back out there for his 4th inning. Comes set, checks the runner, and now the pitch. This is going to be laced out to deep right field. Long run for Tracy going back to the warning track, and he makes a leaping grab. Really nice catch by Tab Tracy to haul that one in. Retreating back to first is you, and it's allowed out number 1. Boy, I tell you, Camarillo gave that one a ride, Wyatt.
He certainly did. Harwich has put a lot of pressure on this Falmouth defense, particularly the 3 in the grass. Meanwhile, Falmouth, Devin, with the 9th fielding percentage at .963 in the league this season. Already with an error tonight, but a very clean play in right field to prevent Harwich from adding more runs potentially.
And yeah, nice way to make up for the error he made if you're Tracy. First pitch to Humphrey, big swing and a miss. It's 0-1. 86 on that off-speed pitch. Humphrey on the day, singled, came around to score, and struck out looking. Next pitch is cut on and missed, and so it's quickly 0-2. 93 on that fastball. You over on first after a leadoff single to start things here in the fourth. Here comes the 0-2, and it's going to be chopped. They're going to say it's foul off the foot of Jacob Humphrey, and so we'll stay at 0-2.
Just on time for that fastball, but just went really top-heavy on it that time.
Humphrey out of UMass Lowell. Leads the Mariners in stolen bases with 4 this season. Real threat on the base paths. 0-2 pitch. This is low and away, 1-2.
That's where Humphrey's begun to develop his feel at the plate a little bit more, Devin. Despite the strikeout looking back in the second, he knows that he can't be too selective, but has to protect.
Devin Obi awaits on deck. Longtime friend of Andrew Yu, of course. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Humphrey. That will be strikeout number 5 for Isaac Tiger. And there's 2-way here in the fourth.
He'd begun to settle in really well, moving from the second to the third, now facing the lineup for the second time here today. He gets Humphrey swinging, but I think if you're Humphrey, you certainly take that with a grain of salt, knowing that you're able to protect that time.
So Devin Obie's turn. He walked, came around to score in the first, and then struck out swinging in the second. He's behind 0-1 after a healthy cut and a miss. It's 0-1. You, the runner, on first. 6 hits for Harwich here through just 3+. Obie fouls that one off back towards the parking lot in the senior center. It's 0-2. Hunter Fitzgerald on deck. He's 1 for 2. Coming set is Tiger, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Obie. Back-to-back strikeouts to end the fourth for Isaac Tiger. His tally up to 6. He's really settled down since the first inning. We head now to the home half of the fourth. Still 4-0 Harwich. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Home half of the fourth now, as due up is Walker Yannick, Joe Redfield, and Gavin Turley for the Commodores. They trail 4-0. Call to the bullpen. Rothermel's night is over, and he was fantastic. 3 innings on the mound, no hits, no runs, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks. New arm is going to be Dylan Delvecchio out of Tarleton State. Comes in, making his 4th appearance for the Mariners. 3 strikeouts, 3 walks, 4 hits he surrendered. This past season, a .697 earned run average at Tarleton State. Record of 2-0. 60 2/3 innings pitched, 54 strikeouts, 38 walks. First pitch is grounded over to Camarillo at short on the first easy 6-3 putout to start things here in the fourth.
Delvecchio with 2 earned runs on a hit, 3 walks, without an out made in that 5-4 win against Chatham. Granted, he did come up with a more high leverage situation to try and pitch the Mariners out of that inning, and ultimately ended up being Joseph Savino. And so Delvecchio facing a little bit of a less leveraged situation here, if you will.
Joe Redfield's turn. And first pitch to him is going to miss for a ball at 88 miles per hour. It's 1-0. Redfield out of Sam Houston State. Scored 79 runs this past season. Also walked 34 times. Walked more than he struck out. This one popped into shallow center field. Long run for Scannell, and he hauls it in. Really nice play, and it's 2 up, 2 down to start Delvecchio here.
Scannell certainly touted for the power that he brings, in addition to those doubles that he's able to rake in, but I don't think he gets enough credit for what he's able to do in center. Has been starting there at times this season, in addition to right. Harwich Mariners defense, .979 fielding percentage this year.
So now it'll be Gavin Turley's turn. He flew out to center back in the second. First pitch to him in there for a strike. It's 0-1. Just past the top of the hour here, 8:05 Eastern time. And yeah, of course, a late start tonight, 7 o'clock, with the game being on Nesson. Red Sox had a day game. They lost today. 0-2, the count to Gavin Turley. Mariners looking for a 1-2-3 inning. Tally is up to 5 straight Commodores retired. Trying to make it 6 here is Del Vecchio. Team high 4th appearance. Breaking ball just missed outside. Really nice pitcher's pitch. And one he could waste. 75 on that breaking ball. Misses just off the plate. 1-2. Another 1-2 coming. Breaking ball is bounced in the dirt. Just didn't leave that one high enough, and so it'll be 2-2.
His slider only a little bit slower than that changeup, about 77 to 79. The changeup 82 to 84.
2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the bat is flung right towards us by Turley. Strikeout number 1 for Del Vecchio, and he has a 1-2-3-4. We head to the 5th, 4-0 Harwich. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the other side of the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Hunter Fitzgerald, Kennedy Jones, and Lorenzo Carrier due up for the Mariners. They're ahead in this ball game 4-0. Fitzgerald on the day 1 for 2. Singled came around to score in the first, and then in the second, grounded out to the pitcher, a 1-3 putout, but the ball actually, I think, hit Fitzgerald or something, and Mickey Garcia ruled that it was interference by the runner, and so he was ruled out, although I may tend to disagree. It's a ball and no strikes to Fitzgerald. Next pitch. Misses on the outside part of the plate. It's 2-0. Isaac Tiger remains out on the hill for Falmouth. He's really found his rhythm ever since that first inning. He's faced 4 batters in each of the second, third, and fourth innings. 2 balls and a strike now to the Old Dominion Monarch. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Big hack at the low and away slider, and it'll be 2-2. 85 on that off-speed pitch. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Fitzgerald. Strikeout number 7 for Isaac Tiger. Man, he has been in the zone ever since that horrible first inning.
5 of the last 6 retired here for Tiger. The slider, something that the Mariners haven't hit too well as of late, but Kennedy Jones coming back up here. 1 for 2 here today. Has that double off of Tiger back in the first.
Jones's turn. First pitch is going to be in there for a strike at the knees, 0-1. Carrier on deck. Next pitch to Jones, misses inside, 1-1. Jones on the day doubled, came around to score in the first. That ties the league lead with his 5th double. He's also flied out to center, and he rips this one out to right field. Tracy under it, and he puts it away. That one on a line, really tough to read as an outfielder, but Tracy doing a nice job there to line it up and make the play. 2 up, 2 down here in the 5th.
A little bit of a different situation here for Lorenzo Carrier, tonight's designated hitter, to come up with. Devin came up with no outs in the first and 2 away in the third. Rather, 1 away.
As this one's going to be lined into right field for a base hit. Lorenzo Carrier checks in with a single. And so with 2 away, there are runners on first.
He's had such a great capability thus far to pull in addition to go the opposite way. That time was a little bit later on it, but still with a 2-out hit that Harwich certainly needs, despite having 1 in each of the last 3 frames.
Lavari's turn, as Carrier almost picked off that time over at first. Lavari hit a sacrifice fly back in the first and then singled in the third before being stranded. No count to him. First pitch, another back pick, and Carrier almost caught sleeping. It's been a lot of really close plays for him over at first base tonight. No balls and a strike. As the pitch from Tiger is bounced in the dirt. Nice stop that time behind the plate by Yannick. And it'll be 1-1. Matt Scannell on deck for the Mariners. 1-1. Misses down low, 2-1. Still trying to keep you updated on the Cape League scoreboard. Have an update for you in the bottom half of the inning. Lavari waits for the 2-1 offering. And the pitch. Misses down low, 3-1. As we mentioned, Lavari comes in with a team-high .457 on-base percentage. He's been fantastic at finding ways to put his team in a better spot. Hitting just a moderate .240, though, this season. Hit .312 for Old Dominion. One of 2 players to play all 60 games this past season. 3-1 coming to him. Misses up and away. And, yep, you guessed it, another walk for Kenny Lavari. Runners on first and second now for Matt Scannell with 2 away.
It's a very mature at-bat from Kenny Lavari. That kind of plate appearance, not all too common for someone like Lavari, even as a senior, but you consider the walks he's gotten now with 11 walks on the season and single to right back in the third. He's certainly done a good job at the plate tonight.
First pitch to Scannell is going to be in there just below the letters, and it's 0-1. Scannell on the day was the first strikeout victim of Tiger, and he's also flied out. That was back in the third inning. Tiger, a long look in. Heading the count 0-1. Here comes the pitch to the Princeton Tiger. No pun intended. 0-2 as this one gets by on the swing and a miss. Down to third goes Carrier. Into second is Lavari. And now a couple ducks on the pond for the Harwich RBI machine.
Tiger's had his relatively infrequent instances of being wild tonight. But that was just an easy read that time from Carrier, who's had such great wide strides on the base pass in his first handful of games this season.
No balls, 2 strikes. Tiger trying to get out of this inning, keeping his team in at 7 hits for Harwich thus far. 0-2. Fouled back, and we'll stay there, do it again. Falmouth still searching for that first hit. They have really gotten nothing to go on the offensive side of things. Pitching has found a way to remain stagnant around that 4-run lead for the time being, although another 0-2 coming, and Scannell's going to foul it off to the left. So we'll stay there. 95 on that pitch from Tiger. Really impressive to see him just letting it all go this deep into his outing. Scannell waiting in that left side. Pitch from the righty. Fouled back once again off the padding behind home plate. And so we'll be at 0-2 again. Andrew Yu on deck. Scannell in the 7 spot here for Anglert's lineup tonight. Pitch from Tiger. Breaking ball lined up the middle into, almost in, I guess I jumped the gun. Scannell sliding in. He's safe at first. Excuse me for the choppiness on the call, but the liner just died. Almost had some backspin on it up the middle. And then DeBar is trying to fire it onto first, but Scannell slides in head first. It's an RBI infield single, and 5-0 Harwich. Carrier in the score. Down to third is Lavari.
Bit of an emergency tactic that time from Scannell. You said sliding into first, and fortunately no injury arose on the play. But I think they're going to go to a new pitcher here, as this is going to be the day for Isaac Tiger. And he started to settle off, but they're not going to let him go any further here with the Mariners threatening again in a 5-0 lead.
All right, so we'll take a quick break and introduce a new arm on the other side. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back, Devin Dobek, Wyatt Kopelman along with you. Andrew Yu set to face the new wing, Michael Barnett. He comes in this past season out of UCLA, a 3.97 earned run average, 45 and a third innings pitched, 21 runs, 20 of them earned, 31 strikeouts, 12 walks, and a 212 opponent batting average. It's 0-1 as Yu fouls off the first pitch. Line still open for Isaac Tiger, excuse me, as he leaves behind a pair of runners on the corners for Harwich in Lavari and Scannell. 5-0 Mariners as Barnett comes set and delivers. Breaking ball snapped in there for a strike. It's 0-2 now to you, who on the day flied out to right and then singled back in the fourth. Mariners looking to extend their margin right now. They lead this one by 5. 0-2 pitch is going to be chopped foul. The runner was in motion, and Matt Scannell picked up his 13th RBI on that infield single. That's tied for the league lead. 8 hits for the Mariners, none for the Commodores here as we're into the 5th inning. 0-2 coming to you, and he chops it foul off to the left. We'll have to do it again. On deck, Ali Camarillo, the 9-hitter, should he get an opportunity to hit here. Oh, 0-2 pitch coming to Andrew Yu. Here it is. And it will be chopped foul right between the legs again. Staying alive. Scannell's at first, over at third, Lavari. All this rally coming with 2 away. Fitzgerald flew out to left and Fitzgerald struck out and Jones flew out to right. And then there's just been a rally ever since. 0-2 is going to be grounded over to the shortstop, DeBarge. He'll go on to second for the fielder's choice and retire the side. But the Mariners strike for one more as Carrier comes in to score on an infield single from Matt Scannell. We head to the home half of the 5th. 5-0 Harwich on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Cade Snell, Christian Martin, and Tab Tracy due up for the Falmouth Commodores. They trail 5-0, still being no hit by the Mariners. As Del Vecchio back out there faced the minimum 3 and recorded a strikeout in the 4th inning. 1-0 is the count to Snell, who struck out back in the 2nd inning. It's a ball and a strike now to Snell. Snell from Alabama. 34 runs this season for the Crimson Tide. Hit .396 across 56 games he played in. That was with Wallace. Headed to Alabama now. 2-1. Breaking ball is going to be popped into foul territory. Long run for Lavari, and he's going to run out of space. So the count will be 2-2. Still in the bottom of the 10th at Red Wilson, 5-4 Orleans over the Red Sox right now. Mariners fans hoping Orleans can eke out a W there, and then first place will be vulnerable, assuming the Mariners can win this game. That one slapped down the line in left, but foul as it tails just away. And so it'll be 2-2. Snell, a two-way player, also a left-handed pitcher. .503 on-base percentage this past season with Wallace. Number 3 left-handed pitcher in his graduating class. 3 balls and 2 strikes after that off-speed pitch misses. Payoff pitch. Just missed inside, and it'll be a really good at-bat to work a walk that time.
First base runner on Delvecchio, the left-handed reliever all night long. And albeit it took 6 pitches, you certainly appreciate what you get out of Cade Snell. Struck out swinging back in the second. And that forces Delvecchio to work out of the stretch for the first time.
Christian Martin's turn, struck out back in the second. It'll be 1-0 to start him now. Martin out of Virginia Tech, a sophomore there. This past season hit .345 for the Hokies. 39 runs scored, walked 32 times, while striking out just 28 with a .455 OBP. It's a ball and a strike now to Martin. Bats in that lower third of the lineup for Jeff Trundy. Searching for the Commodores' first hit of the ball game. The pitch chopped over to the third baseman. Lavari goes to second for 1 on to first. It was forced and not going to be in time. Nice job by Fitzgerald to not let it get past him as the throw was in the dirt. So it'll be a fielder's choice for Martin as Snell's retired 5-4 down at second.
Lavari kind of took an extra half second with another shuffle of a step and 2, and that sort of halted that momentum that you need on those 5-4-3s to go around the infield dirt.
Tab Tracy's turn, walk back in the third to lead off the inning. First pitch misses outside, make it 1-0, 76 on that breaking ball from Delvecchio. One-0 pitch. Breaking ball, that one hits the strike zone, same speed. And so it'll be 1-1 now to Tracy. Tracy, a Texas A&M Addy, future teammate of Ali Camarillo. As there goes the runner, the throw down from Yu is going to skip into center field, but nice backup that time by Scannell to make sure there was no further advancement by Martin, who's in the second with a stolen base. Tracy's dad and grandfather both played football at Houston. Tracy also a great golfer, lettered 3 years in high school on the golf team. Trying to get Falmouth on the board here. 1-2, swing and a miss. You going to have to go to first. Score that a K2-3 putout. Second strikeout for Delvecchio as staying put down at second is going to be Martin. Two away for top of the order, John Spikerman. Reached on an error back in the first. Actually was able to steal a base as well in that inning. And he's also grounded out to the second baseman, Jacob Humphrey. Excuse me. First pitch to him, misses low and away. It's 1-0. 5-0 M's in the fifth inning. Falmouth trying to find any kind of offense. It has not been easy for them thus far. 1-0 pitch is caught on a miss to make it 1-1. 89 on that fastball. Still no hits for Falmouth. Something to take note of if the Mariners can record this third out right here. Another fastball right by the big swing of Spikerman, the leadoff man, and it'll be 1-2. Delvecchio searching for another strikeout. Comes set, takes a look at the runner, and here comes the pitch. Fastball is spoiled, foul, off behind the press box, and so it'll be 1-2.
Slider has been displayed more frequently than what he goes to in college. He goes to about 7% of the time. I'd say the slider has been used at least a quarter of the time tonight.
Ball and 2 strikes. Pitch to Spikerman. Breaking ball misses inside, gets away from you. Advancing down to third is Martin, as you couldn't stick with that one. And so now Commodores 90 feet away from getting a run. And we do have a final score. Orleans knocks off YD on the road, 5-4. They scored the ghost runner. The Red Sox were unable to. And so with the Red Sox loss, the Mariners could recapture first place with a win. 2-2 pitch is going to be lifted out to deep center field. Long run for Scannell, heading back to the warning track, looking up. It's over his head. In to score easily is Martin. Into second with a stand-up double is John Spikerman in Falmouth with some life.
Shot right over the head of Scannell, even with the speed that he's shown at times in the outfield this season, just a little bit too far for him. And this is a Falmouth team that has a lot of speed on the base pass, extensively so, with nearly 30 stolen bases on the season, just getting its 27th from Christian Martin near the top of the league.
So it's 5-1 now. Gateman still clinging that 2-1 lead. That game in the 7th at Hyannis. First pitch misses outside. It's 1-0. Bazana up to the plate. He walked, stole a base in the first, and also flied out to left. That came in the third. The pitch. Bounced in the dirt. You keeping it in front of him, and it'll be 2-0. Spikerman down at second. Delvecchio, long look in, comes set once again. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball snapped in there at the knees. And so it'll be 2 balls and a strike. Pitch from Bazana coming. And it will be in there once again at the letters for a strike. Bazana a chance to continue to dig away at this Mariner lead. Currently 5-1, but manageable to get back into the ball game with a hey here. There goes the runner, and it'll be in there for strike 3 nonetheless. Won't even matter. Delvecchio earns the strikeout, his third. This one looking, and so we head now to the 6th inning. 5-1 Harwich as the Commodores get one back. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Ali Camarillo, Jacob Humphrey, and Devin Obi do up for the Mariners here in the 6th inning. Michael Barnett back out to the hill for the Commodores. He got a run from his squad back in the 5th inning. They still continue to trail by 4 runs, so Barnett trying to keep that lead tight. First pitch to Camarillo is going to miss for a ball. It's 1-0, low and away. Sun has gone down here in Falmouth. We are right around the 70-degree mark, temperature-wise. Really hot earlier with that sun beating down for the first time in what feels like all summer thus far. I still got some sweat on my body as this one's going to be grounded into left field for a base hit. Ali Camarillo checks in, his 2nd hit of the ball game. And leadoff man on with nobody out.
Camarillo started the season strong with his ability to rake in those hits, this time doing so in leadoff fashion. Single to shortstop back in the 2nd. I feel like that's become a more realized characteristic of him, just to be able to get that kind of contact on the ground, whether or not it leaves the infields.
So Humphrey's turn comes in 5'10", 180 out of Standish, Maine. First pitch to him in there for a strike at 88, and it's 0-1. Humphrey on the day singled, came around to score in the 1st. Struck out looking in the 2nd, struck out swinging in the 4th. Throw over to first, not in time. Obi on deck. Mariners trying to get that run back. Speed on first base in Camarillo, although he has been caught stealing a team high 2 times. Big swing and miss that time from Humphrey. He's behind in the count 0-2. A hanging breaking ball. Wanted all of it, got none of it. Barnett, a long look in, tucks that glove under the left side. Now lifts it back up, comes set at his head. Pick off a temp over at first. Almost got away. Excuse me, from Snell. But it's 0-2. Pitch to Humphrey. Breaking ball falls off too late. And so it'll be a low ball to make it 1-2. The pitch. Just low. Breaking ball. Unfortunately, couldn't locate it a little higher. Nice pitch at the bottom of the zone to waste, and it'll be 2-2 to Humphrey. Humphrey, 2022 NEIBA All New England 2nd teamer. The pitch, there goes Camarillo as it's slapped foul off into the seats. Wow, that one actually got all the way to the snack shack. Bomb of a foul ball. Also a state champion in football his junior year. First team defense and captain of the basketball team as well. 2-2. Grounded up the middle to the shortstop to Barge. He'll go to 2nd for 1, on to 1st. Not in time, so they'll settle for the lead runner in Camarillo. Humphrey way too quick to double up. And so there's 1 away.
Humphrey has only reached base once in the last 2 games, but that time using his speed to his advantage, far aggressive out of the box, and just a little bit quicker that time.
So Devin Obi's turn. He walked in the 1st, came around to score. He's also struck out swinging twice. Bunch of strikeouts for these Mariners as the throw down not going to be in time. Yannick appealing for interference on Obi as it counts 0-1. Humphrey swipes 2nd. 5th stolen base of the season for him. Obi trying to move the runner home, get the run back that Harwich lost back in the 5th inning. That one misses. 1-1 now the count. Obi has shown some serious power, has the only triple on the Mariners roster, has some bursts of speed we've seen as well. Plays a strong outfield. The pitch bounced in the dirt, And kept in front by Yannick. No advancement from Humphrey. Two balls, one strike here. On what's now becoming a cool night in Falmouth. Kind of the nice thing about Cape Cod, you get the hot and warm days and then cool nights. Perfect for baseball. 2-1 is chop back foul, 2-2 to the Duke Blue Devil. Hunter Fitzgerald gonna chase after that one. Looks like some new bat boys for Harwich. Still getting the hang of things. Haven't seen any slam dunks from the usual crew, at least. 2-2, there goes Humphrey again as pitch fouled off. And so it'll stay at 2-2 once more. Yeah, the Harwich typical regular bat boys are pretty electric to watch. I mean, they show out. They really take pride in what they do, and you'll see them dunk a few baseballs. They always celebrate with each other. They have some dance moves they like in between innings, so hopefully we can get the same out of the new interim guys. 2-2, there goes Humphrey again. Swing and a miss by Obi, and on the throw down by Yannick, it hit the bat of Obi. I'm not sure I've ever seen that. In the backswing, the throw down hit the bat, and yeah, not sure what's going to happen.
I'm not sure how Mickey Garcia didn't at least attempt to clarify it there. That could have been interference on the back pick down to third.
I think that it was probably because he has the right to the batter's box and to finish his swing that it wasn't interference, but after the runner interference earlier, who knows? First strikeout of the night for Barnett as first pitch in there for a strike to Fitzgerald. 2 away here, and Humphrey 90 feet away from scoring. Picks up his 6th stolen base. 5th and 6th in this trip around the diamond. Fitzgerald on the day 1 for 3. Singled, came around to score in the first. Grounded out to the pitcher in the second and struck out. He was the last of 7 strikeouts for Isaac Tiger, whose line is now closed. Ball and a strike to Fitzgerald, the aggressive hitter, and he lifts this one into the gap in right center field. In to score is Humphrey, and it'll be another RBI single for Hunter Fitzgerald. He's got a pair of those.
Just another great at-bat here for Hunter Fitzgerald. 2 for 4 on the day, single to center back in the first. He's done a great job of just getting it to on time, swinging hard through the zone. It's a huge quality that you expect out of someone who has a 12-game on-base streak to start the season.
Isaac Tiger, 4 2/3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 5 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Bit of an interesting outing for him. As that one misses for a ball, it's 1-0. Barnett trying to end the damage here, get out of the inning. Here comes the 1-0 to Kennedy Jones, swing and a miss. Ball and a strike. Jones on the day, doubled back in the first, an RBI double, eventually came around to score. Also has flied out to center and flied out to right. Harbor Hawks have tied it up with the Gatemen 2-2, that game in the late innings. Did he go? No, so says the first base umpire. So it'll be 2-1 now to Kennedy Jones. Jones, a recent commit to South Carolina. Going to be a Gamecock after ending his UNC Greensboro Spartan days. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and miss. Really good breaking ball that fell off the table. 77 miles per hour. Started it at the thighs, dropped down below the knees, and Jones an uncomfortable swing there. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 away. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Down goes Kennedy Jones, and the inning is over. But not before the Mariners tack on one more to pad their lead back to 5, thanks to a pair of hits from Camarillo and Fitzgerald. We'll take a quick break, be back for the home half of the 6th. You're listening to the Harwich Mariners YouTube Network. Kyle DeBarge, Walker Yannick, and Joe Redfield due up for the Commodores. They trail this one 6-1. 10 hits for the Mariners. They've been swinging the bats well. As we're into the home half of the 6th inning, Delvecchio back out there for his 3rd inning of work. He's gone 2 innings thus far. Surrendered just the 1 hit. Has 3 strikeouts and also surrendered a run. That came back in the 5th inning. First pitch is grounded back off Delvecchio. Going to be a long run for Humphrey, forcing it to first, and it's in time. Oh, I'm not so sure about that. That looked to be safe. But, Humphrey, credit to the effort getting it to first base. They will rule it an out. Delvecchio appears to be okay. All positive signs for the Mariners, and umpires trying to control the anger in the situation. But, yeah, I'm not sure. I even thought it was close from my vantage point, Wyatt. I thought he was safe by a mile, but what are you going to do sometimes?
And regardless of the call at first, it's been a quiet night for DeBarge, just a bit of an offset performance. 2 for 4. Last game started at shortstop, was batting 3rd. He's in the 3-hole again tonight. He's 0 for 3.
Walker Yannick's turn. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out to the shortstop. 89 on that pitch from Delvecchio. He's ahead in the count 0-1. Next pitch is going to be lined foul down the third base side, and so it'll be quickly 0-2 from Delvecchio. Mariners ahead by 5, 6-1 here on a beautiful June evening here in Falmouth, Massachusetts. The pitch. Breaking ball missed way up high. 74 on that pitch. Still be 1-2. Just 2 games still active in the Cape Cod Baseball League. Delvecchio's pitch is hammered out to right field. Long run for Obi back in front of the warning track. Makes the catch. That ball was barreled by Yannick, but it'll be allowed out number 2.
This has been an excellent outing here for Dylan Delvecchio. 3rd time on the hill this season. He retires in order in the 4th and only give up 1 hit. Just Falmouth's first on a double to center back in the 5th, and he's been cruising here in the 6th too.
Joe Redfield's turn. He struck out looking and flied out to center as he's ahead in the count 1-0. Delvecchio looking for a 1-2-3 6th. He comes set on the hill. And here comes the pitch. In there for a strike. It'll be 1-1.
Great 4-pitch arsenal we've seen here tonight from Delvecchio. He's really commanded the zone well.
Delvecchio coming set once more. Here's a pitch. It's chopped foul back to the backstop and by the Falmouth Bat Boy, so it'll be 1-2. 2 away here in the 6th. Nobody on for the Commodores. The pitch. Misses way up high. 2-2. Redfield went 0 for 4 in his last game. He's still hitless here tonight, so 0 for his last 6. Transferred from Temple College to Sam Houston State. 2-2. Breaking ball is lifted high and deep out to right field. Obi, ranging over to his left, is under it and makes the catch while backing into the wall. Couple really loud outs there, but nonetheless, they are outs. 1-2-3 they go in the 6th. We head to the late innings. Don't go anywhere. 6-1 Mariners on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back. Top of the 7th inning. It'll be carrier Lavari Scannell due up for the Mariners and taking over play-by-play the rest of the way. My broadcast partner, Wyatt Kopelman. Wyatt, take it away.
All right, Devin, the Mariners head 6-1 going into the final frames here at Gov Fuller Field. Light towers are on. Lorenzo Carrier is up as the first here as he watches one down the pipe for strike number 1. Carrier on the night. 1 for 2, reached on an error from the right fielder in Tracy back in the first, struck out swinging in the third, singled to right back in the 5th. Here's the 0-1. Misses low below the knees. It's going to go to 1-1. Michael Barnett out of UCLA, the freshman, still in as the only reliever here for Falmouth, with the Commodores trailing the Mariners 6-1 here. The 1-1. Half swing, and he went around. This is a home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia. It's 1-2 to the outfielder from Miami. Carrier playing for Miami this season, a team that lost in the Coral Gables Regional again this year. But Carrier, the big bopper, has made his announcement here into the starting lineup under Steve Englert. None away, none on for Carrier. 1-2. Fastball misses high and inside as it backs Carrier off. It's 2-2.
Yeah, that one dangerously close to being in on the hands.
Mariners ending their 5-game winning streak last night, a 5-2 loss against Yarmouth Dennis at home. The 2-2. Skied out towards left field. Turley at the warning track, moves back now, moves in front, moves to his left, and he makes the catch for a loud first out here in the 7th. Carrier gave it some ride, but it's a deep ballpark here at Gulf Fuller as there's one away.
Yeah, the apex on that thing also was just ridiculously high, way above the light towers. And unfortunately not going to get too much carry when it's hit that high, and yeah, it'll be allowed out number 1.
Kenny Lavar, the Old Dominion product, native of Vineland, New Jersey, stepping up here with the Mariners ahead 6-1 with 1 gone here in the 7th. No breeze in the air here tonight. The first pitch on the way. A swing and a miss on a fastball for strike number 1. Lavari with the sacrifice fly to left back in the first to score Kennedy Jones. A 4-run frame to get the Mariners their first and only lead here as they lead Falmouth 6-1. The 0-1. Fastball swung on a miss. It's 0-2. Lavari singled to right back in the 3rd, walked in the 5th. The Mariners leaving 2 on in that frame, however. And tonight they have left 7 on the base paths, despite having complete command in the hitting column. 10 hits to 1 for Harwich here on the road to start its 3-game road stretch. 1 away, nobody on here with Lavari, the left-hander, standing in against Barnett, the right-hander of UCLA. He earned 9 starts in 22 games this season. And the 0-2. Breaking ball misses low. It's 1-2. Lavari has really shown a good deal of plate discipline here tonight. He's done a little bit of everything, and it's been much needed for a Mariners lineup that's been without Kalen Culpepper, the Kansas State infielder, in addition to Seaver King. Team USA obligations. The 1-2. Fastball swung on a miss. Lavari goes down on strikes. 10th strikeout here for Falmouth pitching as they're quickly 2 away in the 7th.
Yeah, Lavari's had a good game to that point, though. You got to tip your cap to the pitcher once in a while, and Barnett do a nice job of winning that battle of power on power. Lavari has had his success at the plate today, had productive at-bats in each of his first 3. Unfortunately, that time just didn't work out. Now it's up to Matt Scannell.
If you're just joining us, the Mariners getting 3 innings in a scoreless and hitless start out of Colin Rothermel. First pitch to Scannell, a slider that creeps inside below the belt for strike number 1. Rothermel, the Kansas State product, excelling in his start, his first on the season. 5 strikeouts despite 2 walks. And he left no doubt as the Mariners have been high on the strikeouts in their pitching staff here tonight. The 0-1. Slider low, it's 1-1. Meanwhile, Scannell here tonight started 0 for 2 before a single to shortstop back in the 5th. And this is quality of Scannell. He's been resilient in the lineup for Steve Englert this season. Nobody on here with 2 away. The Harwich Mariners head 6-1. The 1-1. Slider, a called strike at the lower half. It's 1-2 as Scannell have to protect.
He's done a great job, though, with 2-strike hitting. We think back to that single he was able to rip in the 5th and drive in Lorenzo Carrier. See if he can put together another at-bat of that caliber.
Rising senior at Princeton, 5th on the team in average this past spring. The 1-2. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 11th strikeout here for Falmouth pitching. Nonetheless, trailing Harwich 6-1 going into the bottom of the 7th. Scannell falling to 1 for 4 on the day. None across for Harwich as we stay alive here in the 7th inning. 6-1 deficit for Falmouth. Time to stretch. We'll be right back on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Six to 1 lead for the Mariners going into the bottom of the 7th here at Gov Fuller Field. The sun has set. It's baseball after dark as Dylan Delvecchio, the southpaw of Tarleton State, steps out for his 4th inning in his latest relief appearance, his 3rd on the season. After an excellent outing out of Colin Rothermel, went 3 scoreless innings. Delvecchio winds and fires the first pitch. It goes outside to Gavin Turley for ball number 1.
Turley on the days flied out to center and struck out swinging.
The 1-0 offering, lined back and boomed back into the padding behind home plate. Padding can certainly make some noise back there, Devin. We've heard it twice today, once from Scannell and once from the leadoff hitter here in Turley.
Yeah, serious thud, and I'm not sure how much bounce comes off that backstop, but definitely could be a factor. Haven't seen it tonight, but who knows, coming off if runner could do something.
A swing and a miss. It's 1-2 here to Turley.
That one actually hit him on the swing and a miss.
Just underway here in the bottom of the 7th. The Mariners had 6-1 on the first game of a 3-game road stretch. The 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss. Drop 3rd strike. The Duke catcher, fires down to first. Well in time for another strikeout here for Dylan Delvecchio. It's the 9th strikeout here for Harwich, and there are 5 straight retired by Delvecchio as he cruises moving into the 7th.
Great job that time by Delvecchio. He figured out what worked, got the hitter and Turley to chase at the breaking ball, went right back to it. Same result.
4th strikeout for the southpaws. He misses low and away here to Cade Snell. The first baseman stepping up 0 for 1 today as he struck out swinging back in the 2nd, walked in the 5th. Snell, the sophomore of Alabama, the Wallace Community College transfer. The 1-0 he sees, it goes low. 2-0. So Delvecchio with that 4-pitch arsenal. He's used the fastball, he's gone to the slider, the changeup, and a curve on rare instance here tonight. As he works on a slanted stance from the third base side of the rubber, there are none away. As now the pitching coach and R.J. Thomas for Harwich will step out here to have a word which will likely be mechanics focused. Nobody warming up down the third base side, rather left field bullpen area here. So I think with R.J. Thomas, he's already seen a lot of elevation and what he's been able to do in commanding the zone, Devin, and just wants to make sure they're on the same page with the catcher and Andrew Yu.
Yeah, I think it probably has something to do with that breaking ball that's been missing low. Probably just trying to straighten that pitch out, something with his landing point, I would imagine, but we'll see. Delvecchio's been pretty stellar up until this point. He's faced the minimum twice, faced 5 hitters back in the 5th when they scored a run, but other than that, cruise control. And he set down, in addition to that, he set down 5 straight.
Delvecchio allowing 2 earned runs and 1 hit, 3 walks in that 5-4 win against Chatham during that 4-game homestand. The 2-0. Foul tipped on a fastball, and it goes to 2-1. Snell with Falmouth this season entering tonight 2 for 6, was 0 for 2 with a walk batting 7th the last game he played. A two-way player that's had success on both sides at Wallace Community College. The 2-1. Fastball swung and a missed. It goes to 2-2. One away, nobody on here for the Commodores, running out of outs here at home at Gov Fuller Field, a team that is 1-3-1 inside its confines here in Falmouth. 6-1 lead for the Mariners. 2-strike pitch. Slider tapped over towards the right side. A high bouncer for Fitzgerald as he loses it to his right. Delvecchio was off the mound in time to cover, and nonetheless, that'll go down as an E3 against the Old Dominion first baseman.
Yeah, that was a shame. Just unfortunately, Scannell that time letting it pop right out of the glove. Not much you can do there. It's just unfortunate circumstance. Tried to get to the bag before he had the ball, and unfortunately forgot the most important thing. So now a base runner for the Commodores.
That brings up Christian Martin, the Virginia Tech second baseman. Lefty on lefty battle here, 1 on and 1 out. The floodlights are on here. First pitch. A breaking ball down the chute, and it gets called for a strike. Martin on the evening, struck out swinging back in the second, reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth. Came around to score an RBI double to center field from John Spikerman. The 0-1 from Delvecchio. Misses low and outside. A good block that time by Andrew Yu. It's 1-1. Harwich getting on the board first with a 4-run opening frame. 4 runs on 3 hits that also had a sacrifice fly tag to it. The 1-1. Delvecchio misses low on a slider, and it's 2-1. 6-1 lead for Harwich in its first trip to Gov Fuller Field. Lost to the Commodores back on June 12th, its 3rd game and 2nd home contest on the season. Here's the 2-1. Fastball tapped back behind home plate. It's 2-2. The Mariners, to extend their winning streak to 5, were able to rally back in the late innings against Orleans a couple nights ago. Last night, not the case. Yarmouth Dennis getting on the board. Harwich tried to rally with 2 across in the 6th. Unsuccessful, however. The 2-2. Inside on the inner half, just below the belt, as it gets called looking. Dylan Delvecchio gives Harwich its 10th strikeout on the night as the Charlton State Southpaw sends Martin down silence. It's Tab Tracy coming up with 2 away here and a man on first on the E3.
Yeah, really nice job there to just pick a spot, paint it. That's exactly what Delvecchio did. Able to punch out Martin. Second time he's gone down on strikes today.
Delvecchio started of the stretch, deals a first pitch swinging strike to Tracy on the upper half.
Uncomfortable looking swing, kind of like a little lightsaber swipe across the plate that time.
One on, 2 outs. The 0-1. Slider tapped over towards the right side. Fitzgerald steps on the bag himself on 1 bounce. So after a quick blunder over at first, Fitzgerald redeems himself as Delvecchio faces 4 here in the 7th. And Falmouth scores no runs on no hits, 1 error, and leaves 1 on. A pair of strikeouts, 1 swinging, 1 looking, and a ground out as Mariners get out of the 7th unscathed. 6-1, the Mariners lead going into the 8th year. Go Fuller Field. It's baseball after dark, and it's coming your way. We're coming back at you here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. 6-1, the Mariners lead going into the final 2 frames here in their first of 3 road games, starting at Go Fuller Field in Falmouth. Wyatt Kopelman and Devin Dobek here with you on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. A new pitcher into the ball game in Garrett Coe, the left-hander out of Connecticut, the junior, 6-3 with a 4.42 ERA this season. He faces Andrew Yu as the Duke catcher watches one high and outside for ball number 1.
Just 87 on that fastball. Not a whole lot of velocity as opposed to what we saw earlier in the ball game from Isaac Tiger.
The 1-0. Skip in the dirt well in front of the plate. It's 2-0 here to Yu. Played for the Commodores manager and Jeff Trundian in high school at the Gunnery School, now called the Frederick Gun School. Some connection there with the Falmouth skipper. The 2-0. Fastball zipped down the right field line, and it's going to go well foul over the seats. It's 2-1 here. Yu trying to go top shelf that time. 1 for 2 today. Flew out to right field back in the first, singled to center in the fourth, reached on a fielder's choice in the fifth. The 2-1 offering, banged back into the netting. It's 2-2. A 6-1 lead for the Mariners here in the top of the 8th with none away. Yu trying to protect here. Nobody on. The southpaw Coe deals the 2-2. Served out towards shallow center field. Ranging back Martin. He moves to his right, and he makes the catch. He had Redfield, the center fielder, behind him for backup. Nonetheless, Yu flies out for the second time here tonight, and there's one away in the 8th.
Yeah, that was almost right in the Bermuda Triangle out there in right center field. Nice job by Martin to stick with it and track it down to make the catch. That could have been one of those plays that you look back at the end of the ball game and been like, uh-oh, if only that didn't happen. But secured the out, and now there's one away. Nice way to ease the starter into that, or the reliever into that outing.
The first pitch on the way to Ali Camarillo, taken high and outside. Devin, my apologies. I keep nudging you. I feel like that was the 3rd time. That's why I threw my hand up in excuse. The 1-0. Fastball down the chute goes to 1-1.
I miss my comfortable chair in Al Graber press box. We haven't had a road game in some time, and man, this chair is really getting the best of me right now.
1-1. A swing and a miss high. It goes to 1-2. Right behind home plate here on ground level at Go Fuller Field. Kind of a different best seat in the house here tonight. The 1-2. Slider high and away. It's 2-2.
We will take it, though. That's for sure.
Different seats from the Al Graber press box back at White House Field, where the Mariners broke their 5-game win streak last night. The 2-2. Coe misses low and away. 3-2.
Thanks for the reminder. Unfortunately, but hey, things looking optimal tonight.
Breeze just starting to kick in here. The Mariners wearing their road navy uniforms. Red block lettering, white outlining, red helmets, gray pants with a blue trim on a line down the right side of the pants. The payoff pitch again. Lined into left field. It's dropping quickly, and it's down for a base hit. Camarillo with the 1-out base hit here as the Texas A&M product has his 3rd hit of the night as the Mariners have traffic on the base pass to start the 8th.
Yeah, he's been fantastic out of that 9 spot here tonight. As you mentioned, picks up his 3rd hit, seeing the ball really well and getting deep into counts, still finding ways to put a good swing on the baseball. Really impressed with what he's been able to do here tonight.
Camarillo last night only getting a walk. The first pitch to Jacob Humphrey taken high for ball 1. Humphrey up with a 1-out base runner in Camarillo. The Mariners are leading 6-1 over the Falmouth Commodores here in the top of the 8th. A check back over at first, unsuccessful as Camarillo stands up. 4 runs in the first, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. The Mariners have not had to worry too much about what their pitching has provided them, albeit it's been excellent.
Just the 1 hit.
Just the 1 hit, 10 strikeouts. The 1-0 bounces low. Camarillo almost caught no man's land as he was set to go off for second. Nonetheless, it's 2-0 here to Humphrey, the UMass Lowell product. Double to left field back in the first, struck out looking in the second, struck out swinging in the fourth, and reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th. Pitch. A swing and a miss. It's 2-1. 6 runs on 11 hits, 2 errors committed from the Mariners tonight. 1 run on 1 hit, 1 error from the homestanding Commodores. Not a sold-out crowd, but a good crowd all the while for a Sunday night here in Falmouth. The 2-1 from Coe. Lined into left field, and it's dropping quickly. Turley moving to his right. He can't make the catch. It bounces onto the warning track. Speeding around second, Camarillo, as Humphrey will cruise into second, and Camarillo stops at third, as our runners on second and third with still one out here in the 8th.
Two-hit game for Jacob Humphrey. He's been fantastic here tonight, other than those pair of strikeouts. But, yeah, look for a second as if Turley was going to be able to make a play on this baseball. Timed the dive well, just didn't have his glove in the right spot. It actually hit the glove. That's one that he's probably going to lose a little sleep over despite the great effort.
One out double here. The first pitch to Obi, lined over to the left side and past the diving glove of Bazana. That will send one home in Camarillo and Humphrey, as they will both score, as a matter of fact. And it's a 8-1 lead for the Mariners here in the 8th inning with still one out. An excellent rally this time for the Mariners. They had 4 in the first. They got 1 in the 5th and the 6th. And the Mariners continue to cruise as they get their insurance runs here.
And they need that. It's a good confidence booster. They've now tied their season-high 13 hits. Their season high for runs is 12. So we'll see if they can meet that mark, but they've been fantastic here. Consistent offense all night long.
A one out RBI for for Devin Obi. Scores 2 in Camarillo and Humphrey. 1-0 on the way to Hunter Fitzgerald's. A half swing. Fitzgerald's here tonight. A pair of singles to center field. Grounded out 1-3 in the second. Struck out swinging in the 5th. A 1-1 from Coe. Outside. 2-1. So 2 runs here in the 8th inning. 2-run single for Devin Obi, the Duke product. His first hit on the night, and it comes at the expense of Coe just entering the ball game here in the 8th. 2-1. Slider tapped over towards the right side, and it bounces just foul. And had it stayed to the left side of that bag for another bounce, it certainly would have been foul. Would have been fair to move one in a scoring position at least.
Fitzgerald's had another really good game. Pair of hits, multi-hit game for him.
Lefty-lefty battle here. Coe, the 2-2. Tapped off the high side and off closer towards the knob of the bat. We'll do it again. It was just tapped down the left side. One away here in the top of the 8th. The Mariners ahead 8-1. 13 hits, as Devin mentioned. Hunter Fitzgerald's here tonight. Have another standout game. But 2-2 again. Slider misses high. It's 3-2.
Fitzgerald with a team-high 4th multi-hit game here tonight. He's been fantastic.
Opportunity for a ground ball double play to close it. The 3-2. Served high out towards left field, running over Turley, and it goes into the trees. So another payoff pitch will be set here for the Margate, Florida native. Only run thus far for Falmouth, arriving back in the 5th inning on a double from John Spikerman. Falmouth's pitching has held up well against the Mariners, considering strikeouts. Payoff pitch, taken inside, and it's going to be a walk here for Hunter Fitzgerald as he wins the full count battle. That moves runners on first and second here for Kennedy Jones. What a spot for the South Carolina product to be coming up here. Arguably one of the most exciting Mariners this season, Devin, despite just one hit here tonight.
Yeah, and this is a spot in which he tends to thrive when there's runners in scoring position. He's been able to get the job done. Fitzgerald getting on right before him. Now 2 on. Kennedy Jones already has an RBI or 2 tonight. He's into double figures on the season. We'll see what he can do now in the 8th.
First pitch taken outside for ball number 1. Double to right field back in the 1st. Flat out to center in the 3rd. Flat out to right in the 5th. Struck out swinging in the 6th. Mariners team that's been able to work around that hurdle of a strikeout here tonight. Coe still out of the stretch. The Connecticut product misses low. 2-0 here to Jones. Hitting the cleanup spot here today behind the usual and Hunter Fitzgerald's in the 3-hole. Already another big spot here for the Mariners with 1 away in the 8th. Ahead 8-1. Obi on second, Fitzgerald on first after the 1-out walk. The 2-0. Misses high at the letters. It's 3-0. Well, Jones this season has certainly taken advantage of pitchers when the Mariners have been on the road. He's excelled at Aldridge Park in 2 visits over there against Orleans. Had that grand slam the second time around. 3-0. Misses low, 4-pitch walk. Jones showing a lot of versatility at the plate here tonight, despite a couple of flyouts. He walks here, and it's the second straight walk issued by Coe as the bases are loaded with one away.
And now Lorenzo Carrier, someone we know can really put a charge into a baseball. Had a little deep fly out earlier in the ball game. Let's see if he can get all of this one. And with the bases loaded, a chance to do some serious damage and a favorable matchup, lefty on righty.
First pitch, lobbed out towards shallow right field, sprinting in Trolley as he makes the catch. The throw into home is not going to be in time. No one goes anyway. So runners stay put here. It's an F9 as there are two away in the eighth. As Carrier took the first pitch swing and maybe wanted to a little bit more discipline that time, but nonetheless, he had to put charge in it.
Tracy with a really nice play there as well to make up for his error early in the game. That's a long run in to be able to make that grab coming in and to the left. Almost overran it, and then the throw right on line of the plate to make sure no one headed home.
First pitch on the way to Kenny Lavari, taken and swung on for strike number one. Lavari today with the sacrifice fly back in the first, a 4-run first inning for Harwich. Has a walk and a single to right field since, aside from a strikeout. Two away, the base is loaded. The 0-1. Fastball swung on a miss. It's quickly 0-2 to the Old Dominion third baseman. 8-1 lead for Harwich on a 2-run single from Devin Obie. Calm crowd after dark here. Pitch. Taken high. It's 1-2. A good take from Lavari that time. He's already worked a walk here tonight, and we'll see how he battles back here. Trying to keep the line moving here as the Mariners already have two here in the eighth after a 4-run first, getting one in the fifth and the sixth as well. Coe, the left-hander out of Connecticut, in a huge jam here to get out of. The 1-2 on the way. Foul tipped off the glove of Yannick behind home plate. It'll be 1-2 once again to Lavari. Finally, New Jersey native.
Not going to get any easier, too. You got Matt Scannell on deck if Lavari can keep the inning alive.
Heart of the order, still up here for the Mariners, ahead 8-1 in the top of the eighth. Lavari trying to stretch the lead. The 1-2 from Coe. Banged back into the screen. 1-2 again. Lavari not going down quietly here. Obie on third, Fitzgerald on second, Kennedy Jones on first. Back-to-back walks before a fly out to right field for the second out here in the eighth. 8-1 Mariners lead, 13 hits to 1 for Harwich over Falmouth. The 1-2. Skied into shallow second base area. Moving in is going to be Martin as the Virginia Tech infielder makes the catch for the final out of the eighth. So Harwich is only able to get two, scoring those 2 runs on 2 hits, and leaving the bases loaded. Going into the bottom of the eighth, an 8-1 Harwich lead. This is Harwich Mariners baseball on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. The Harwich Mariners tacking on an additional 2 runs in the top of the 8th. 3 hits, scoring Jacob Humphrey and Ali Camarillo on a 2-run RBI base hit from Devin Obi out of Duke. It's a new pitcher into the ball game now. Today it'll be the second reliever in the game in Chandler Marsh out of Georgia after Dylan Delvecchio went a solid 4 innings. Marsh, I don't know if he's going to finish this game, Devin, but certainly we'll get some good run time here as he's still yet to reach a handful of outings this season.
Yeah, we'll see. His last outing was not the best thing in the world. He came in against YD, surrendered those 4 runs that eventually ended up costing Harwich the game. Granted, there was an error in the inning, but we'll see how he can bounce back here.
First pitch on the way, a slider outside to John Spikerman, rather. Marsh not pitching through that Mariners win streak of 5. Deals a 1-0 outside. 2-0 here. Marsh threw the final 2 2/3 of an inning with 4 runs, 2 of them unearned in that 1-run loss at Yarmouth Dennis. 2-0. Fastball swung on a miss. It's 2-1. Spikerman here tonight, getting the Falmouth Commodores their only run on the night, a 1-run double to center back in the 5th. 2-1 high and outside. Spikerman reaching on an E5 back in the 1st against Kenny Lavari. Grounded out to second and the 3rd, doubled to center field back in the 5th. The 3-1 offering. Sky down the left field line. Lavari running over into foul territory as he will lose it. So it's going to be 3-2 here to Spikerman, with the Mariners ahead 8-1 over the Falmouth Commodores, second meeting on the season. Mariners scoring their fewest on the year at home in that 2-1 loss against Falmouth back at White House Field on June 12th. Gave the Mariners their first home loss on the season. Marsh at 6'4", 228, the Wellington, Florida native, deals the payoff pitch low and inside, as it's going to be a leadoff walk here for Spikerman as he reaches for the 3rd time here today. Something to watch for with Marsh here, Devin. Similarly to what we began to see with Dylan Delvecchio, as Andrew Yu, the starting catcher, now goes out to the mound to have a word with Steve Angler. Just the control that didn't really manifest itself consistently at Red Wilson Field in that walk-off loss.
Yeah, you said it best. The control was a serious problem for Marsh and something that he definitely needs to hone in and focus on. But, you know, it was just an unfortunate series of events. He also has picked up a win for the Mariners, so not the worst thing in the world. Was credited with the loss back against the Red Sox, threw 37 pitches in that half an inning and didn't even get to finish it. Just 2 outs he was able to record before it ended.
So Marsh working out of the stretch after the first batter he faces reaches on a walk, and there goes the runner, and it's a hit into right field for a base hit. Stopping at second will be Spikerman on the hit and run on a good recovery that time with the relay throw. There's runners on first and second. Here's Travis Bazana. Takes the first pitch and dumps it into right. Still none away, and runners on first and second. This is the trafficking need in order to keep the Mariners on their heels for the time being.
Yeah, but 7-run cushion. Marsh, we know, has been in situations like this, and I don't foresee it happening again. Just has to find what works best to retire hitters. That's just the 2nd hit for the Commodores here today.
Kyle DeBarge up here. The 3-hole hitter watches it down the middle for strike number 1. An 8-1 lead for Harwich here in its first road game at Gulf Fuller this season. Interdivision matchup between the East and the West here. On second, Spikerman. On first, Bazana. Here's the pitch. Skied out towards right field. Ranging back, Obi. He makes the catch. Tagging from second will be Spikerman as he will reach standing up, and there are runners on the corners here with 1 away.
Another good piece of contact, but the Mariner defense, that's not going to fool them. Easy put out for Obi. A lot of smoke blowing in. I'm not sure if that's from the grill or what, but a lot of smoke blowing into Arnie Allen Diamond.
A vent on top of the shack over on the right field side above the seats. Have to think it might just be that. The cleanup hitter in Walter Yannick stepping up. The catcher watches it outside for ball 1. Yannick 0 for 3 here tonight. A strikeout swinging back in the 1st, grounded out to short in the 4th, flied out to right back in the 6th. He works with runners on the corners here, and Spikerman on 3rd. Bazana on 1st. Spiked back behind home plate. It's 1-1. Mariners have never trailed in this game after a 4-run first inning. It was 3 hits and a sacrifice fly, a run in the 5th and the 6th, and a 2-run RBI base knock from Devin Obie here in the top half of the 8th, giving the Mariners the insurance runs they need. 8 runs on 13 hits, 2 errors for Harwich, 1 run on 2 hits, 1 error for the Falmouth Commodores. 3-8-2 on the season, 1-3-1 at home this season, 3.5 games out of first place in the Cape Cod West standings. Chandler Marsh, second-year freshman out of Georgia, deals the pitch. Slider swung on a miss. It's 1-2 as Yannick will have to protect. Ground ball double play opportunity is available here. Marsh still looking for his first strikeout in his latest outing on the season. The rising third-year sophomore at Georgia made 23 appearances, held a 5.46 ERA down in Athens of the SEC this year. 1 away, 2 on. The 1-2. Foul tip into the glove as Yannick strikes out swinging for the second time here tonight as there are 2 away. Back-to-back retired here for Marsh, the right-hander.
Yeah, and that's a really encouraging sign to see him settle down, kind of get in the zone, swing of things, finding ways to retire hitters after getting them on. That was something he struggled with against the YD Red Sox. All kinds of bugs here at Gulf Fuller Field now.
First pitch, a breaking ball going off the outer half. Yu is about set for a back pick down to first. Joseph Redfield stepping up here. 2 away, runners on the corner. Spikerman on third, Bazana on first, as the Commodores trail the Mariners 8-1 here. Here's the 1-0. Dips low. It's 2-0 here to the 5-hole hitter in Redfield. Struck out looking in the first, flat out to center in the 4th, flat out to right back in the 6th. As his team needs hits and they need base runners, running out of options here. The 2-0. Fastball high. It's 3-0.
There is room on the base paths, so don't want to force a strike and leave something over the plate. Pick a spot and hit it.
Marsh trying to stay in this one as he deals a fastball in the outside corner for strike 1. 3-1 the count here to Redfield. Now the home plate umpire, Mickey Garcia, calling for time here. Sam Houston State, Redfield, the outfielder, a junior, transferred from Temple College, hit .402 in 60 games this season. Now the 3-1 from Marsh. Grounded over to the left side foul. It's 3-2. Marsh battling back in counts early in this latest outing on the season, despite allowing a walk to John Spikerman, the designated hitter, to start off the 8th. He took it to a payoff pitch, and he's taking it to a payoff once again here to Redfield, who's trying to avenge an 0-for-3 start here today. Spikerman on third, Bazana on first. The payoff pitch. Lobbed out towards right field. Running back Obie towards the track in front of the wall. He makes the catch. Final out of the inning. After allowing a leadoff walk and a single to right field, Marsh works out of trouble, and he gets out of a mini jam. Falmouth scoring no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and leaving 2 on. Marsh picking up the 11th strikeout just a moment ago, and he gets a fly out to get out of it here in the 8th. 8-1 lead for Harwich going into the 9th here at Gulf Fuller Field. We'll be back here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Top of the ninth coming your way here from Go Fuller Field. The Mariners 8, the Commodores 1. As the Mariners look to use their final chance here to tack on more insurance runs with Matt Scannell, Andrew Yu, and Ali Camadillo. The 7, 8, 9 hitters due up here for 28th year head coach Steve Engler. Scannell on the night, 1 for 4 with an infield single to short back in the 5th. The first pitch on the way from Coe, the Connecticut product, a slider that goes down the chute very slowly for strike number 1 here. Coe working quickly out of the windup. 0-1 goes way high and forces Scannell to duck. It's going to be 1-1. Mariners getting 4 runs in the first frame, a run in the 5th and the 6th, in addition to a 2-run RBI single from Devin Obie back in the 8th. Falmouth just getting 1 run in the 5th. The pitch. Our called strike on the outer corner. It's 1-2.
Scannell, the only one that wasn't able to come up to the plate in that 8th inning.
2-strike pitch, misses low. It's 2-2. Lots to appreciate out of this Harwich lineup, Devin. The urgency that it expressed after falling 5-2 last night at home. 2-2. Slider goes outside. 3-2. Just a lot to turn around into here, and a great way to start off a 3-game road stretch as the Mariners hold an 8-1 lead. The payoff pitch. Grounded over towards the right side. Fair ball. Diving glove Snell. He gets up, and he gets to the first base bag in time, and just a few steps ahead of Scannell as well. A resilient play from the first baseman in Snell as he had it picked along the chalk, and there's one away here. But just getting back to what I was saying, Devin, the Mariners getting 5 hits across the first 3 innings, and albeit they left 3 on, it's just that commanding lead that they've never looked back on as Andrew Yu comes up here.
Yeah, but we don't want that play to be overlooked. Really nice play by Snell on the dive. That ball might have even been foul, but nonetheless, able to make a beautiful diving stop and record the out. That is impressive.
0-1 to Yu. A swing and a miss low. It goes to 1-1. And Snell has been relatively quiet here today in the lineup in the 7-hole. Yet to get a hit here with a walk back in the 5th. The 0-2. Bounces in the dirt. 2-1. Either 1-2. The pitch high. 2-2 here. Kenny Lavari has certainly been versatile in the lineup for Harwich today. A single to right and a walk. Lower third of the lineup is converted. 2-2. A swing and a miss. Yu goes down swinging. It's the first strikeout on his part here today as there's 2-way in the 9th. And, of course, the Mariners, despite having a 7-run lead here in the 9th inning, know they have to be able to carry this effort out of their lineup going into the final out. And that's what we're going to try and do here with Ali Camadillo coming up.
He's already had a 3-hit game. Only one other Mariner has had a 4-hit game. That was Seaver King, had a 4 and a 5-hit game. We'll see if Camarillo can join him here.
8-1 lead for Harwich, 2 away in the top of the 9th. The slider misses high at the letters for ball number 1 to Camarillo. 3 singles here today for the former Cal State Northridge product, Chula Vista, California native. The 1-0. Lined over towards the left side. Bazana, rolling ball, fires over to first, and it's in time. So after a turbulent 8th inning that resulted in 2 more runs from the Mariners, Coe, the southpaw out of Connecticut, sends the Mariners down in order here in the 9th. The Mariners do not get any extra insurance runs. They still lead 8-1 going into the final chances in the bottom of the 9th for the Falmouth Commodores. The Mariners on the verge of going 9-4 on the season. Commodores coming up for one last chance here at Go Fuller Field. We'll be back, and we're coming back at you here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Falmouth Commodores down to their final 3 chances here at Gov Fuller Field, hosting the Harwich Mariners. Harwich scratched across 4 runs to take its first and only lead back in the first, getting 1 run in the 5th and the 6th, in addition to a 2-run double, or 2-run single rather, from Devin Obie. The first pitch on the way from Chandler Marsh is a huge swing and a miss for strike number 1 to Gavin Turley, the left fielder. 0 for 3 here today, flied out to center back in the 2nd, struck out swinging each time after. Marsh with the 0-1. Slider misses low and outside. 1-1 here. Harwich losing first place holding in the Cape Cod East Division standings, the 1-1. Slider high, it's 2-1. But with a convincing win like this, no reason to believe that the Mariners won't be able to get back into first. So with so much time left in the season, just hitting the quarter-way mark here, Harwich now in its 14th game. 2-1 from Marsh. A swing and a miss. It's 2-2 here. Lower third of the lineup has been quiet here today for Falmouth. Commodores going hitless through 4 innings as well. 2-2, fastball high. It's 3-2. Leading off here in the 9th, Gavin Turley, the left fielder. Outfielder out of Oregon State, the freshman looking to get on base. Payoff pitch, a misses low, and he will do just that. He reaches for the first time here today as he earns a leadoff walk. The final line on Dylan Delvecchio prior to the entrance of Marsh in the 8th. 4 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. The Mariners and the Commodores here tonight combining for 23 strikeouts, and that's been the trend for almost every opponent the Mariners have faced across their win streak, in addition to last night as well. That brings up Cade Snell, the first baseman. He watches it high for strike number 1, rather. Snell striking out swinging in the 2nd, reached on a walk back in the 5th, reached on an error by the first baseman in Hunter Fitzgerald later on. 0-1. Goes outside. It's 1-1.
95 on that fastball from Marsh, though, that time.
1 on, nobody out here. Top of the 9th, Falmouth trying to get some runs. 1-1 outside.
Delvecchio also lined up for the win here tonight if Marsh can slam the door and not surrender an unbelievable comeback. Only 2 hits for the Commodores to this point.
And Rothermel not going deep enough either, despite the scoreless outing. 2-1 inside, 3-1. Rothermel with 3 innings, no hits allowed either. 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. Quite the masterful outing from the Kansas State product in his first starting nod on the season, after going a scoreless inning late against Orleans on the road. 3-1, chopped foul to the right side, 3-2.
Yeah, and Marsh has just got to throw strikes. He's got some serious velocity, knows if he's able to control it. His stuff is fantastic, so we'll see if he's able to get on top of this batter once again.
You've seen the mound a lot in the college landscape, also appeared in 24 games out of the bullpen in his first year freshman season, 3-2. Tapped foul behind home plate. He has provided 17 scoreless appearances with 44 strikeouts at Georgia. 23 appearances this season at Georgia. He had a 1.81 ERA and a 7.2 mark in 72 innings at Wellington High School. 3-2, swung on and missed. Another strikeout here for Marsh. It's his 2nd in his latest outing on the season, as there's 1 away. So it's a 12th strikeout here for Harwich pitching tonight. Snell strikes out swinging for the 2nd time. And that brings up Christian Martin here. Ground ball double play could end it here for Chandler Marsh and the Harwich Mariners on the road. The first pitch. A slider that goes down the pipe for strike number 1. Gavin Turley working a leadoff walk here in the 9th. As the Commodores are down to their final 2 chances. 8 runs on 13 hits for the Mariners. 1 run on 2 hits for the Commodores on what's turned into a smoke-filled air. 0-1 fastball that runs high, goes to 1-1.
My turn to nudge you wide, I guess.
Your turn to nudge me. Now it's 3-1. Devin's nudged me once. I've nudged him 3 times. 1-1 the count. 1 on, 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. An 8-1 Harwich lead. The pitch. Lofted out towards left field. Charging on Jones. The South Carolina product makes the catch through the air. And there are 2 away here. And that's what Chandler Marsh has started to exhibit here, Devin. The fly ball contact. It's his 3rd fly out here, as the Commodores now look to tab Tracy in the 9 hole with their final chance. And they're down by 7 runs here. But it's never over until it's over, of course, in baseball. No time allotments to any team whatsoever. We'll see what Tracy's able to do here. Still looking for that first hit. Earned a leadoff walk back in the third. Here's the first pitch. He sees it high for ball number 1. Leadoff walk for Gavin Turley. He stands on first. A strikeout swinging and a fly out. Has 2 on the board here for the Mariners. Colin Rothermel in his second inning of relief here. Here's the pitch. Lofted foul down the left side into the trees. It's 1-1. So 2 away here. It's been 12 strikeouts from Harwich pitching here tonight. Rothermel just picking up his second after 4 innings of 1-run baseball out of Dylan Delvecchio, the southpaw of Tarleton State. The 1-1. A foul tip just off the glove of you behind home plate. 1-2. Down to the final strike here. Bottom of the 9th. 8-1 lead for Harwich. The Mariners ending their 5-game win streak last night. They're trying to start a new one tomorrow if they're able to pull it off here. The 1-2. Lace back into that inning. It's 1-2 again. Certainly hasn't been the fastest moving ball game here tonight as the Mariners begin their 3-game road stretch. But they have been excellent with their pitching here tonight.
Yeah, this game closing in on its 3rd hour.
2 on, 1 out. Rather, 1 on, 2 outs. A swing and a miss. 13th strikeout for Harwich pitching. Colin Rothermel picks up his 3rd strikeout in relief. He deals it scoreless as the Mariners win convincingly 8-1 here at Gov Fuller Field. They even the season series with the Falmouth Commodores at 1 game apiece in a ball game that lasted 3 hours and continues, rather 2 hours and 40 minutes. The Mariners go to 9-4 on the season. We'll step aside for a quick break. Bring you back with the post-game show here on the Harwich Mariners YouTube network. Welcome back to Go Fuller Field, a fog-filled sky here as the Mariners line it up on the mound, celebrate their 9th win on the season, and move back into a tie for first place in the Cape Cod East Division standings. They move to 4-2 on the road after dropping their home contest and a 5-game win streak last night. Wyatt Kopelman, Devin Dobeck here with you. And Devin, just to consider that aside from the Mariners striking out 12 times tonight, you consider you get an excellent start out of Colin, or an excellent relief appearance out of Colin Rothermel, in addition to Dylan Delvecchio strong in relief as well. A 7-run victory, a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of encouraging signs, and when you think about how the offense played yesterday and how they were able to respond today, really good signs of life. The pitching was fantastic. Rothermel, 3 innings, 5 strikeouts, 2 walks, no runs, no hits. Whole staff allowed just 2 hits throughout the whole game. Delvecchio, 4 innings pitch, he gets the win. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, 1 hit, 1 run, and then Mars shutting the door. 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. Nothing but positives to say about that Mariner pitching staff.
Mariners turning it around after a 5-2 loss last night. They only scored 2 runs in the 6th inning on a wild pitch and an RBI base hit from Hunter Fitzgerald. Tonight they turned it around with 4 runs in the 1st inning. They got a run apiece in the 5th and the 6th, 2 runs in the 8th inning on a 2-run RBI base hit from Devin Obie, the Duke product. And the Mariners had only 1 lead to look on as they move to 9-4 on the season. Meanwhile, Falmouth falling to 3-9-2 on the season as they now lie 4 games out of first place in the Cape Cod West Division standings. 1-4-1 here inside the confines of Gov Fuller Park, rather Gov Fuller Field. The Mariners set to move on tomorrow with the 2nd game of their 3-game road stretch. It has been a dominant evening here for the Mariners as the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox pulled out of White House Field with a victory last night. They quickly turn around and win here tonight. Coming on back tomorrow night, we'll be back with more as the Mariners continue that 3-game road stretch. For our producer, Sean Sears, taking us all the way through the night here on the road at Gulf Fuller Field, and for my broadcast partner, Devin Dobeck, I'm Wyatt Kopelman saying so long, a ball game that lasted 2 hours and 42 minutes on a 73-degree night here in Falmouth. One final time, the Mariners win 8-1. You're listening to